oh, oh, oh. Hello and welcome, Rocket League fans. We are here. We are live little National Esports Collegiate Conference action coming at you on FBI Tugboat. I'm here with my man, Hail Monkey Man. Hail Monkey Man, how are we doing today? How you feeling?
You know, it is a Friday night, which means there's action on the horizon, but a sun has to set on a final day, at least for this collegiate week of esports. And what better way to do it than Zoomy Carball, go fast, and boom. I know that with these players are just ready to get going into it. I didn't know, talk about how are you doing as we have a whole full slate of Rocket League to get to tonight.
Doing very well. Got home very late after a thrice delayed flight. It was not the best. That's not why the people came here today, though. We have Army West Point Esports Black taking on SUNY Potsdam K Bears. That's up first. We got a smattering of matches here on the day for you guys. 5 of them total. 6th one has been nixed. So even though the kids are away at spring break and whatnot, we still got some Rocket League action coming at you.
Yeah, it's going to be a wild one, too. You're going to get to see the Wolverines going against the Valkyries over there for St. Clair Saints Academy. And then at 9 o'clock, you're going to have Grand Canyon University going against Southern Miss Golden Eagles. And one more to follow thereafter at the 10 p.m. hour. So also, as in case no one knew, as we're getting into our schedule, make sure, as a little PSA, this Sunday, sadly, is Daylight Savings Time. So make sure you get ready for that. And so there's going to be some time to save for some more esports forthcoming. Let's go ahead and check out our roster as we go to the Black Knights here for Army West Point.
Absolutely. This is the Army West Point Black Knights. They are 2-3 on the season. We'll get into that one in just a second. Taking a look at Darth NECC, Ida Turtle, and NJW 125.
This is a kind of a mixed up team in terms of kind of experience. You do have the junior, that NJW. Maybe you're going to be able to bring some of that extra experience as well. And I think that it's also either a sophomore or a freshman kind of coming in. Actually, we don't know what Darth NECC is. They just happen to kind of live in the void. So want to see in this emergence level what this esports program can be able to bring. But on the other side, you got the SUNY Potsdam Cave Bears, which just is so intimidating. They clawed out their own name. I mean, who could take on that? I don't know.
Yeah, that literally willing to take out their own name in an effort to get to you on the virtual Rocket League pitch, of course. This is SUNY Potsdam Cave Bears 1-4 right now. Getting to that in just a second. Taking a look at that guy, Macro, almost did it, Parallax, and Green Mayhem 427. Hail, Monkey Man.
Yep, this is going to be a team that is looking for some success. 1-4 right now. The only win they have is a forfeiture, and the rest of them, well, they've been able to grab a couple of games. Not exactly in a great position considering where we are in the season. I think we have maybe a week or so left in it to be able to complete the rest of the games. Same for the Black Knights, though. Army West Point trying to get into that top 4, as now they've only had one forfeiture win. They did have a big win over Defiance, and so we're going to see if even more of that can be able to kind of find some momentum. But otherwise, I mean, Tugboat, these two teams are kind of in that lower position on the old leaderboard. Need to be able to find success today.
That's entirely fair. Entirely fair. The Emergence Northeastern B Division continuing in just a little bit. Hail Monkey Man prefaced this one perfectly. The SUNY Potsdam Cave Bears need to take this W, only have earned one, another one with a forfeit. Against Widener University Blue right there. Only one map, it seems. Yes, that was against West Virginia University Potomac State College in week number 1. So we'll have a last official week here, another match next week, and then whatever reschedules that we do have to play. The story remains the same, even though chapter to chapter here. Hail Monkey Man, the Army West Point Black Knights have to win today to keep some postseason playoff dreams alive.
And there's a lot looking in as well. You may not exactly have it here at this tier. You had 5 separate divisions of play, but looking at how nationals are going to be going into some postseason. And of course, you're going to see a lot of that going to May Madness. But game number 1, high and on lock. Green Mayhem already getting their number called. A bouncer that will go its way through, and that is a non-stop attack. The Bears up first.
A fantastic little setup right here. Just a play off the backboard, and Parallax doesn't go for it. Knows that Darth NECC is just hanging it out there lurking, ready to get a block, gets it to the teammate. A different story. Cave Bears striking first 1-0.
That's what's going to be really kind of the defining moment, I think, right now. You get to have a really good program here out of Black Knights, and they know how to throw a counter punch as a counter strike comes through, and we're already tied just really quick off the kickoff.
Fantastic stuff right here. An immediate answer from Ida Turtle. No shell necessary for this one. That is what this is 9 seconds within real time. I think that's only about 3 or 4 seconds within game time here. Hail Monkey Man, we are right back to a neutral situation.
So, you know, this is also one of those moments. You have game ones. They cannot be, I think, the true definition when it comes to a BO5. You're looking for some consistency. You're also looking for a lot of these teams to kind of settle. This has been one-off. So we saw a great passing play by Potsdam as the K-Bears went up, were able to bring a bouncer. Now you're looking for Darth NECC to simply have an individual strike. But the Black Knights really just kind of sending one after the other. Long cycling plays, but the Bears have not been able to progress upfield from it, Tugboat.
Yeah, so the Black Knights just unloosing a barrage of shots right here, and this is not going to... Oh, nice cutaway right there. So the pre-jump right into that one, and at least gives the team a little bit of time to, like, rotate, get back. There's a demo as well. Parallax will be back with us in just a couple of seconds as Black Knights now trying to round to the corner and get it to a teammate. Easy cutaway there from that guy, Macro.
What kind of really defines as well this emergent division right outside of Navigators, where you have some extra experience, is also being able to make extra tertiary efforts. Darth NECC, as this one rings off the interior of both sides of the post, simply waiting for the gong to strike, maybe even just be able to go get a snack. Darth NECC cleaning it up, and that's 2 in a row here for Army West Point.
Yeah, so an early one earned from the Cave Bears. The Army West Point Black Knights take advantage of a kind of, well, not a kickoff mistake, not kind of a kickoff mistake. It was a kickoff mistake. That was going to lead to the first right there in a tying factor. First earned goal really here for the Black Knights. 2-1 series, or 2-1 situation, excuse me. 3.5 minutes left. Nice cutaway. There's the pass. Ida Turtle puts it right up top, and then the double tap down bottom. Are you kidding me? 3 shots, 2 goals here for Ida Turtle.
That is non-stop, just ground and pound here by Army as they're able to just find it from the ground, off of the crossbar, and they knew to simply follow up, and that is a separating factor for a team that can find success, knowing how to be able to clean up your own individual effort. That nearly finding some issue. Darth NECC feeds it to a bear, but it's cleaned up by NJW.
Nicely done, NJW, showing up in the point feed over here on your right side, guys. This has mostly been a Darth NECC and Ida Turtle show so far. NJW showing up on the defensive side of this ball. Speaking of, down bottom, tries to pick this one up. It was a wonky pass. Possession not retained there. Ida Turtle getting a play onto this one as now the Cave Bears are doubling up in the corner.
Darth NECC has really taken up stock, I think, of being kind of the point man, really been making sure that this team kind of continues. What a ripper by Ida Turtle, by the way, as Green Mayhem has been able to find another couple of saves. NJW, again, they long bomb it, and then they wait to see if K-Bears are going to be losing possession, even if it's at a deficit of boost. They have been able to live on just maybe 20s and 30s running upfield. Got to be wary of that, though, because that could leave an open back line, but there's a long rotation here by the Knights as now they settle into defense.
I mean, both of these teams playing fantastic rotational performances up into this point in the series. Best of 5 here. And this is just kind of a back and forth. But, I mean, honestly, the Cave Bears' greatest enemy right now is not necessarily the Black Knights. It is simply time as we get sub 2 minutes with a 2-goal lead here. Insurance goal purchase as the double tap was attempted right there. Got to tip the hat to the attempt, but execution just not there.
The only thing that I'd want to see maybe a little bit more from the Knights is continuing to just lay in the kind of the melee against the Bears. And one of their greatest strengths, I guess, is that they've been able to just kind of keep this rotation. They're very disciplined about who's the first, second, and third, filling that gap. But I feel like they can find even more purchase whenever they've really been able to cage these Bears because they're just winning these challenges. Ida Turtle finds one, and that's going to be sent off to the corner. But again, they're keeping the Bears on their own back half, but that demo may prove otherwise.
Precision, focus, and endurance here. Can't really be surprised that coming out from the West Point squad. That was a shot right across the middle. That's a decent pass, but it's way out to the left side. Cave Bears now having their own shot at offense. This is a bad offensive attempt. It's now yielding in a Potsdam offensive possession. Gets over Ida Turtle, but can't get it past the second player. Now a centering shot, and nobody is even on this side of the pitch to pick that up for the Cave Bears. Okay, so offensive mistakes on both sides of these teams.
Yeah, Potsdam, they really didn't keep that third man kind of pressuring. They recognized they were out of boost. They were working very lateral across that midfield line. I thought maybe for all of a moment we would see them looking to challenge. What a passing play, and that's really been established a lot more often by Army West Point. But with less than 30 seconds to go, that one's going to drop nearby. Got to see who can be able to find it, and Darth NECC does. K-Bears looking for one late-term double demo to get them out of the way, trying to clean it up. That one just not secured.
And right as both players spawn on either side, the Cave Bears trying to find that little bit of wiggle room, and a 10-second drill down by 1. Unfortunately, not going to happen. This game number 1 of this best-of-5 series is over, and it is going the way of the Army West Point Black Knights.
There's a ton of pressure. You see kind of the passing out of NJW, enabling both Ida Turtle and Darth NECC, and it was pretty even 6-5 when it came to overall just shots on target. Green Mayhem having to live to that goal line more than I think they really want to, especially, but they get a savior medal for their efforts. So you had an early stint, you found that first goal, and it was a great follow-up effort by Potsdam. Then ultimately, Army West Point just kind of took over the game plan, took over the field, and never let the Bears get out comfortably.
Yeah, even taking away the kickoff mistake, because you can always say about a losing team, like, oh, clean up the edges, don't make the same mistakes that you were doing in the previous game. Like, again, that's easy. Point is, spread the points around a little bit more here. Yes, it's awesome to watch a player pop off both on offense and defense, but this is Rocket League, and they're not assigned positions for a reason. Just the closest player to the ball frequently needs to make the play, and you, as a teammate, need to trust that all the way through their execution of that play.
That was the most analytical, my office manager version of the phrase "this is Rocket League" that I've ever heard. No, that was like, hey, this is Rocket League.
I love
like
hey,
that's.
Hey guys, listen, you got to realize this is Rocket League. Nah, but I mean, frequently, especially right there, right? I mean, you mentioned it on offense, Darth NECC, Ida Turtle, 2 of the total goals right here, 4 total shots. I think that NJW had 1 single one, and that was kind of coming up right as I was talking about it right there. Same side, different coin over here for SUNY Potsdam. Green Mayhem just putting up the best brick wall impression and did a great job doing it. Now I want to see what's going to happen once the Army Black Knights kind of read that and just consistently demo Green Mayhem out of the field of play.
And that's also something that we're going to see in depth from this program, because Army West Point, they have a Valorant team, they have an Overwatch team, a lot of great experience that obviously comes over from this academy in particular. So I want to see if they'd be able to key up and just kind of keep knocking them down. They understand that the early point that was gained by Potsdam wasn't going to be the definer for the entirety of that game, nor of this series. But gotta also make sure you keep these mistakes from getting too crazy. That one ends up going off target. But otherwise, I want to see what Potsdam can bring to the table. We go to game number 2.
I want to see a Cave Bears strike first, and then the Black Knights have to play from behind here. Really kind of test that, pressure that. As we know, pressure makes diamonds. Well, pressure almost also crushes completely at times. Solid first shot here, and that's going to be followed up by the demo here. Ida Turtle, consistent offensive pressure and a demo. I think this is going to yield results.
It very much will, as long as they're able to get one. They find a great kind of pinch to put out to midfield, and then it's actually Green Mayhem who's been caused to go and bump into it. A great individual effort there by Darth NECC, and how many times did we get that keyed up between themselves and Ida Turtle? Call their name, and they get to work.
Absolutely. Darth NECC getting a perfect nose under this, but defense just not freaking out, basically. That was the opposite of anxiety. That was just another day at the office kind of thing. Speaking of that office manager. Another shot here. Ida Turtle way too high on that one. Going to be kicking themselves and wanting this one back, as it looks like the Cave Bears, okay, 50 across the middle. That's going to be won by the Cave Bears the first, and now possession. That guy Macro there, but a fantastic rotation yields a defensive possibility for the SUNY Potsdam Cave Bears.
Macro kind of caught out in that no man's land mid situation. Parallax ends up really just getting it around his own teammate, which luckily didn't give a free shot over to the Black Knights, and still they have the Bears under control. Haven't seen them be able to work into an offensive rotation upfield for a while. Macro kind of comes up loose, doesn't find a connection, but their teammate does. What a doink. Macro simply needs to exist here. Wait out on it.
Oh
my goodness.
No.
The perfect moment. They just couldn't put it away.
Wow. Well, so we were talking about the opposite of anxiety earlier. Well, that might be a little bit of nerves there, folks. About as open as it gets, and Macro just swings for the fences on this one. It's going to be a foul ball to the left side of this field. 3 minutes in, color me surprised. It wasn't a particularly high-scoring affair in game number 1, but there were definitely early scores there, Hill Monkey Man, and I'm kind of surprised there isn't something on about 15 seconds now. It's at a halftime.
Well, considering the barrage that we got out of Army West Point, I feel like they've left a few points on the field, especially as this continues to ring high to the backboard. They're really trying to focus on getting the Bears to jump, to be able to get them to burn some boost and make it easier for them to rotate. They have these longer rotations. That one's going to be a great challenge, as at least it works upfield. Parallax was the one that put it there, and Parallax has been a lot more active. They're going to rotate away. Oh, unfortunate as they leave that one behind, but it's going to be a slow 50-50, seeing what they can come back with. That is a great back pass.
There you go. It was a fake. The initial thing, that was a fake, right? It wasn't an honest shot.
Yeah, it was something. You know, it was an idea. Every fake is maybe a possible pass, and every possible lack of connection is a missed save. Ida Turtle is going to find the first one here.
2 in the first, now 1 in the second, and the solo goal right here. I'd hate to sound too negative, but that's a couple of negative plays there for the SUNY Potsdam Cave Bears that have come from one player.
Yeah,
offense and defense.
Yeah, and you know, on both sides, that's one of those moments that you want the coach to be like, hey, we need to settle. It's cool. Yep. Get someone, maybe not exactly an IGL, because that's not the key, same kind of meta concept that exists in Rocket League, but you got to have someone taking that stewardship, that captainship, to get teams and players to just be chilled out. So Potsdam looking to be able to do the same thing, but it's a challenge to do when Darth Nessie is breathing down your collar.
I think there's a little bit of communication errors, especially from Parallax not having a lot more momentum coming into this ball. You could have basically anticipated a opponent right behind his teammate after they try and make a play, right? The Black Knights are doing a fantastic job of rotating so far, so even if you don't check your mirrors, right, you have to assume that player is there, and you really have to beat feet to get to that ball.
You really do. Oh man, this one could have been another on target, and they're just demoing straight through. It is a bombing run by Army West Point. Must have called the Air Force to help them out on that aerial superiority. Potsdam trying to at least get a threat. That's actually one of their maybe 2 shots, as Army West Point has really not allowed more. That one to the sidewall, but what a clear. That one alleviating all pressure as Darth Nessie kicks it out.
Nicely done. Back to a decently neutral situation if you ignore the scoreboard for right now. Both teams kind of playing up to each other. I got to say, this is a dangerous back pass right across the middle, and there's nobody on the other side to pick it up there. So maybe the result of another lack of communication here for the Cave Bears, because Parallax was just kind of sitting there waiting for it. Well, that's going to be an open net. Macro's not going to miss those twice.
And this one, actually an unfortunate situation for NJW, and then their teammate had no idea that that one would end up as far back as it did. Went for the old kick, and they just had a swinging leg like it's, what, U5, I guess? So now we go into less than a minute to go, and Possum Cave Bears, they at least find a goal. It's been a while since they got one.
It's fair. It's fair. And barring another kickoff mistake, if there is a goal, this is a much more comfortable situation. Obviously, no insurance goal purchase there. Ooh. The Black Knights. Ball kept aloft all the way in.
Wow. Yeah, it was definitely aloft. Yeah, all the way from downtown. Turtle was like, math? Yeah, math.
Okay. Okay, doesn't even make an attempt. I don't know.
I think they backflipped. It sticks, you know?
Yep, I feel you on that. I feel you on
Yeah.
that. Makes a lot more sense, actually. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Kickoff here. This would be fantastic for Potsdam to flip that situation around, especially after a huge miss aerially right here. This is a great setup. Only IJW is back and screaming down from the top. Nicely done. Green Mayhem now showing up on the offensive side of this ball.
Green Mayhem just waiting for their time, their moment, putting a soft jump behind, and NJW was caught on the roof of it. They thought that maybe they had to go for a squishy save since that could be an inversion goal, but instead it's just taking a bit of speed off the ball. And now you have a free look. If you were Green Mayhem, you have a free boost, and now you'd be able to go and challenge after. This is going to go lateral. Where's the second man? Rip one on target. Get some threat. You have 10 seconds.
Yeah, 10 seconds here, now sub 10. It's a fantastic job earlier to have repurchased this situation. There's a nice block here for Green Mayhem. Now the idea is just keeping this ball aloft and passing it to your teammates so they can do the same. Kept it aloft, nicely done. Big boost picked up here for Darth Nessie, a ground ball situation. Something that the Black Knights would be happy with, even if they don't force it themselves. An honest shot on goal, and this is going to be a 3-2 game going the way of the Army Black Knights here. Game number 2 with this best of 5.
Now you have the Bears in what is basically the most unfortunate situation, and that's to have to reverse sweep 13 shots to 4. I said it was more even in game number 1, but this was obviously hey, we've got a SAW LMG. Let's simply just put some fire downfield, see if we'll be able to take out our target. And lo and behold, they did. But it wasn't without some fight and at least some connections. I feel like there was like miniature kind of comeback arcs by each of our players on the side of Potsdam. They just had moments where the defensive pressure kind of got in their own head, but then they were able to at least find moments upfield. Just have to find that consistently and before Army does in game 3.
Yeah, like for at least for Potsdam, the kind of script has been written here for the squad. You can kind of tell that guy Macro frequently going to be an offensive powerhouse, Green Mayhem more of the defensive positioning, and Parallax somewhere in between doing everything all the way across the field, as the middlemen always seem to do, but nobody ever talks about them, right? Anyway, point to the story here is kind of, well, I'm kind of rehashing my point after game number 1, and that's just to split this a little bit more. When you look at 8 total saves and then half of these are coming out from one player, obviously these duties have kind of been assigned here for this player, and it could just be a comfort thing as well. Like, they just kind of realize, like, hey, this player is better at this, so that's what we're trying to do. But whenever you do that, you again make a very predictable game plan, Monkey Man.
Yeah, it does feel like that. So, do you predict a 3-0 sweep? I feel like that's going to be the easiest nature here for West Point, and it's going to be even easier if they give them a free look. Parallax is one of those players that I actually have big expectations for. I know that's rough to put some of that onto a singular player's shoulders, but like you said, you don't give a lot of love to the non-highlight player, but that's because they're the glue to get all the other pieces working together.
Yeah, like these don't work. Like offensive players don't get points unless they get assists, and you don't want to put your offensive player in a situation where they consistently have to score because defense ain't showing up. Also, I mean, this is higher level Rocket League. How often does just a single shot go in? I feel vindicated just having watched this, right? A solid shot, aerial, and more, but multiple players back, and it's an easy block. No real pressure against the Knights on that one. Now, a bouncing play from the right side, trying to pick this one up is Macro. Coming off of the wall, Turtle's going to chow, and that puts it right back to the other corner, picking it up and swinging downfield is NJW.
This is simply foundational Rocket League being done at a fast pace by the Knights. They have been so just efficient and so methodical. But look at this 1-2. Parallax recognizes that they are actually on the upfield swing of that available pass. And now, Ida Turtle sneaks one by. Parallax all the way in the right place, and now trying to be able to make one big read. That one was big brain plays by the Knights.
Fantastic stuff to just really slow down this play as it was coming in. That looked really dangerous. That looked some aerial superiority coming in there from the Black Knights, and Possum just shuts it down. But that offense is not over with, as we see, and even these crisp rotations from the Cave Bears can't survive through what? Was this 4 honest shots in the past 30 seconds or so that were made?
It was. And Turtle also, if in case you can't get through a brick wall, because it has been Green Mayhem who's been able to really kind of stand up to it, as well as Parallax, simply drive through them. Don't even need demos. Get those bumps. So they bring out some C4, lay the landmines, and absolutely just crush straight through the Bears. And now the Bears are at a deficit, and it feels like a very fast ticking clock considering that they have that 2-0 against them. Parallax showcasing, nice. They do have mechanics to bring to the field, and they just have to be able to get that kind of more north and south.
They got the skills to pay the bills. Now it's just time to look at the receipt, because really that was everything in a bag of chips. Parallax really showing off right there. Even so, it kind of feels like almost the flashy Indiana Jones scene where he's, the guy's whipping his sword around, and then he pulls out the gun and just shoots him dead, right? Because it's more of a thought, it can be flashy as heck, it can be really sexy like that, Mida Turtle. But my point is that it can be as flashy as it wants to be. If you have a defense that's just going to be play lockdown and they have positioning and boost, they're just going to block it away right there. This is off the back of a really, really fast transition, and once again, the Black Knights purchased themselves that insurance goal.
Yeah, you can either do what Daniel was doing in some Game 3 OT at the pro level, or you simply hit a 90-degree angle bonk from the corner and you have a proper rotation, which is exactly what these Knights are currently doing. Army West Front has been able to take away opportunities from Cave Bears, and this is going to be one of those challenges. They need to set something up. That's a nice loft, but it's well read by Darth Nessie, and you see how they at least had one. That's going to go sidewall, extra read. It doesn't make it much more interior. Ida Turtle waiting very patiently. This is one of those better rotations. NJW actually gave that away, but it was a nice pass. They had a teammate waiting.
Yeah, a dangerous pass, but it was high risk, high reward. It was just off the back of no third man there on the offense to, accept the next one. Perhaps a little bit of comm issues coming in here for Army West Point Black East, or Army West Point Black Knights. Blech, it's a mouthful. Nicely done from Parallax. Excuse me, I'm over here chewing over my words while Parallax is cooking.
Ooh, we'll just call him Moppy Black. Why not? Because Parallax is not going to call them back. He's going to put a shot on target, dead center, a poof comes through. And the Cave Bears, that's what they've been needing. Even if it's just simply to pick the pocket, force a little bit of that pressure, because pressure and turning these champs into diamonds is either going to be a compliment or it's going to be a very heinous, just hate crime. But as we get some control, gotta see if Oppie Black can be able to take another 1-2 passing play. They have 100 seconds to go to just keep the Cave Bears from advancing upfield.
Yeah, Oppie Black just completely covering the middle part of this field. A little tipper right over, and a nice job there from Parallax. This was a goal every single day and twice on Sundays.
They gotta play that mind game, but what a dangerous position to do so here in your own box. You're getting a soft double commit as one at least stepped up into the position in general, and then Ida Turtle and Parallax are dueling in the sky with 70 seconds to go. It is a winnable function, but it is simply Oppie Black that's been able to find way more challenges. This is how they're just gonna keep the Cave Bears from going upfield and finding any kind of worth. Great pickup again by Parallax.
The Parallax is absolutely showing out this game. Pressure is on. Game 3 situations. What do you do? I'd say employ Parallax. How about that one? 45 seconds or so on the rotation is Parallax once again. I've been following this player for quite a while as he's hitting his rotations. Now setting up something offensive for himself. Nice tap. Oh, wait. What a cut. What a cut right there. Reading this one out perfectly and now setting up something the other way for Oppie Black.
See if they can be able to run it down. They have them on the run. It's a rotation. Quick 1-2. Oh, what a save by Darth Nessie. That one should have been it. 20 seconds. They may be able to just put it away. Darth Nessie the other direction. They have a man waiting, and they shut them down. That may just do it here, Tugboat.
Yeah, NJW with the least flashy goal so far. Doesn't gotta be. Doesn't gotta be. Easy one right to the middle. That's the insurance goal purchased 18 seconds to go. It is possible. It is also very, very unlikely.
Probability just swung the other way on the old ESPN counter, and now with 15 seconds remaining, Parallax has been able to showcase to us that there are chances for the Cave Bears to shine, but simply put, it was Oppie Black. There's the Army West Point's Black Knights that have been able to just simply outplay them. Good foundational Rocket League, solid rotations, and just keeping the Cave Bears locked up in hibernation. Tell them it's springtime. They better come out next time. But that's going to be Army walking away with this one in a 3-0 sweep.
Yeah, 3, 2, 4, 1, doesn't matter. Result being the same. Ground ball out is going to be a 3-1 ender for this and a 3-0 sweep. The story of this one is a very, very close back and forth. We could still literally be watching that game 1 in overtime had there not been the kickoff mistake there from the Cave Bears to start off that game and start off this entire series. This was very, very back and forth. The scoreline says 3-0. That is accurate, but I don't believe that this was just a one-sided affair, not a stomping by any means of the Cave Bears.
It was definitely less of a stomp and more of a quiet beatdown, but also one where the Cave Bears were finding those gutsy moments to really be able to persist. I want to see how this team will continue to persist, especially going into later weeks, because right now they have themselves in kind of a rough position. Oppie Black, the Army West Point, they look really good going into later weeks. I want to see how that will continue, but that's the only one that I at least get to see with you tonight, Tugboat, is you have some more Rocket League right around the corner.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. We got plenty of more matches here. Just to talk a little bit about that postseason here, because we do have plenty of time, of course. Oppie Black going to be improving to 3-3. This is exactly what I was talking about, right? Like, obviously, SUNY Potsdam would want to play spoiler here and not allow, any opponents that they're facing to have solid playoff performances or percentage chance of making in yada yada. That's farther math than what I'd be willing to do. Regardless, doesn't have to do it. Oppie Black improving to 3-3 and really improving their chances mathematically and otherwise of making it into the postseason.
Yeah, that's going to be one of those that we kind of look at, especially because of I think that they're looking into the different formats, and I believe it's upper 50%, or at least top 4 when it comes to East Division and how they play. But as we kind of mix and match that together, I like that there's still that depth of just being able to play. Get your team out there, get your players out there. You don't know who's a senior or who's going to be their last time going into some of these leagues. So I like that Potsdam is still being able to fight from that point of deficit and be able to bring some of that success. But it's also great to be able to see people take dubs. So Army doing it in several different games. They do it here today, and they made it pretty efficient, Tugboat. They made it quick work.
They did. They did. Have to say it. Quick as it gets, 3-0 right there. If SUNY Potsdam gets shut out, like, the one-score games outside of the, or one-score game in the second game right there, right? 3-1. Otherwise, if this is like a 2-0, both in game 1 and game 3, I'd be much more quick to say, like, oh, well, their offense isn't working. Obviously, they spent 10 minutes of Rocket League finding a single goal. That is not the case. Not only was it close, but they still found at least one goal across all 3 of these games thus far.
Yeah,
that
that's
said,
true.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that's true, and that's what I like to see. And finding something, at least when there seems like nothing.
Yeah, a little diamond in the rough right there, if you will, Monkey Man. University of Michigan. Yes, the University of Michigan 2-2 squad right now taking on the St. Clair Saints Academy squad. Do my eyes deceive me? 4-0 right there. Yes, one of their wins from a forfeit. 4-0 regardless. Actually, a couple of those wins pretty contentious. We'll get into that one a little bit later, but correct me if I'm wrong. Is that it for you today, Monkey Man?
I believe it is. I think that's what we got, but that means that you get to have the awesomeness that is totally not the Lobos. But I've heard someone over in New Mexico is waiting to, with green chilies to be able to meet you here soon.
Green chili is absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. FBI Tugboat, it's been a Hail Monkey Man. I will be back with you guys in just a little bit. University of Michigan, St. Clair Saints with another caster. We'll be back after about a 10-minute break or so. Hello and welcome back in 10 minutes, maybe a little bit closer to 15. We keep our promises here at the NECC. I'm FBI Tugboat. I'm here with my man Fiat Color. Fiat, how are we feeling on the day?
Oh, we're feeling, you know what, we're vibing today. We are definitely vibing. We've had some pretty good games already on the stream that is tuning in. I am the all-fabled little green chili guy from New Mexico. I don't even have any chilies. I don't know what that was. But,
Wow.
yeah, definitely a lot of exciting matchups. We're going to be going in here with University of Michigan versus St. Clair Saints Academy in the Champions Division right now. University of Michigan right now sitting at 2-2.
Yep.
Currently in their record in the Mid-East A Division of Champions, while St. Clair is still undefeated currently in their division, looking like a strong unit. Tugboat, what are your thoughts on this so far?
Thoughts are that I've actually prefaced this a little bit on the horn with Hail Monkey Man in the first game. I mean, the St. Clair Saints, fantastic team. Gonna be well, actually, you know what? Sorry, let's go ahead and talk about Michigan first. Excuse me. Pack of the D, typical J, and Juventix here for the University of Michigan. This is the Wolverines, a 2-2 squad. Talk a little bit about them first. Hop in the St. Clair Saints Academy squad in a little bit. Starting off the season with a 3-0 smattering of Kettering varsity squads, and then followed that up with a week 2 and week 3 loss, 1-3 against Alvernia University, 1-3 loss against Dayton Flyers, and then another 3-0 sweep of Oakland University. What this tells me, Fiat, is that this is a squad that even if they're losing games, they're still going to take maps, and it is not exactly the same thing the other way around. They sweep when they win.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they're definitely not one of those dominant rosters where it's 3-0 sweeps every single game. But with
Correct.
St. Clair Academy, right? They're still 4-0. They got a forfeit win last game, versus Dayton. The rest of their games 3-2, 3-0, 3-2 for Riyadh and Brisk. Or Ukira.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, Ukira, Riyadh, and Brisk still sitting at 4-0 with those matchups. Still pretty close though for St. Clair's Academy, but with against a 2-2 team, you expect them to be able to get this win.
Yeah, so it's really interesting because obviously here with the Champs Mid-East A Division and Conference, these teams have faced some pretty similar teams here, folks. What Oakland University B took, say, the St. Clair Saints to a 3-2 back and forth barn burner. Oakland University B, though, was 3-0 swept by the University of Michigan. This tells me that, obviously St. Clair had a little bit more problems with this victory, still got the victory regardless, but University of Michigan, especially that coming from last week, from week 4 right there for the University of Michigan, might have a slight edge, coming on in here to the virtual Rocket League pitch.
Yeah, for sure. But at the same time, you also have to realize, Stan, it's still, like, even though we are ending towards the end of the season, right, teams still have a chance to really, like, define themselves in a lot of these later matchups, University of Michigan definitely is trying to go positive on the record here, so it is going to be a hard-fought game, and as you said, he pointed out that match against Oakland. University of Michigan took that 3-0. St. Clair's Academy had a bit more of a struggle with that, but now game 1 versus University of Michigan. St. Clair's Academy now on the offensive, a little bit of a whiff, though. It's going to be possession still, hopefully, for St. Clair's Academy, but now it's going to be Riyadh on the corner, beat by Juventix, and Juventix trying to keep this ball in. Maybe with the dribble, it gets beat out and a clear to the side of University of Michigan.
A pack coming up to this one gets a solid little interaction with it, with those player names up for you guys in just a couple of seconds. 30 seconds in here. There we go. Big shout out to TTL, producing away, making our jobs as casters so much easier. 35 seconds in right now. A couple honest offensive attempts thus far, but nothing really finding gold thus far. As I almost spoke too soon. Typical J right there, having a fantastic offensive effort, get blocked away by an even better defensive stance.
Yeah, St. Clair was just a bit bunched up right there. Very awkward defensive rotation for them to get out of it. Luckily, they come out unscathed. And with boost, typical J up in the air with a good beat to the corner. Juventix, bit of an unfortunate touch that's going to be hit to the corner for a clear. for St. Clair's, but now it's going to be Pack up on the wall, trying to get something here. On the horse, just a little bit, trying to poke the bear is the phrase I was actually looking for. Poking the bear of University of Michigan, trying to see what's working out. Looks like St. Clair's Academy back on the offensive.
A poking Bears, poking Wolverines, either one can result in a negative overall effect, let me tell you. Still a scoreless effort right here. St. Clair's trying to set something up. Little pop play, barely gets out to it, but actually a hero save on the goal line right here. You need 100% eclipse. That was like 85?
Basically 90%, almost there in the net. Now Typical with the chance to score. It's going to be a 50 though in front of the St. Clair's nets. Juventix keeping that in the corner, keeping up the pressure. And University of Michigan looking very good. Oh, and an own goal.
Okay.
Good pressure coming out from University of Michigan. As I was just about to say, St. Clair's just a bit out of position right there, and an own goal, little redirect into your own net.
Just like a little bit, right? Yukira's in a slightly different position, has a like is a little bit farther back with a 10 extra boost or something like that. It's just something to work with. This is still 0-0 game when we're looking at it about halftime. That's not the case. Bend but not break offense here for the University of Michigan, finding a way in edgewise and finally taking a goal here in this game. About 15 seconds outside of halftime now.
St. Clair, no, it's only a 1-goal game for this game 1 in this series. They're trying to be a bit faster on that pace right now in the corner. That's going to be a 50 with Typical. Pack. Bit of an awkward position. Going to take this low, but it's going to be hit in front of the net. And now it's Riyadh with the double tap onto the side wall. I'm trying to keep up the pressure. It's Juventix up in the air, though, with the air dribble. Maybe with the 50. Low boost, though. Trying to get it over one. Dodges the demo. It's Typical coming in. Typical taking that ball off his teammate with good shot. 2-0 lead for Michigan.
Typical with not 1 but 2 on 4 attempts, batting 500 right now after once again. Yukira's in just a slightly different position. This has a completely different story when it comes down to their ability to block this one away, excuse me. That's now twice that Yukira, perhaps this is just a bare difference, just like a tight, get to your position and get your rotations done a little bit crisper. I'm talking like 5%, and that's the same exact thing that happens right here. Pack just absolutely swings on this after there's nothing on the other side right here, and there's nobody else besides Riyadh to come in and really make a position if that player fails. If you're there a quarter of a second earlier, this is another block goal and a 2-0 game continues.
What a banger from Pack, nearly top left corner in the high bins of the net. St. Clair having a hard time to save that one. University of Michigan able to keep up with the pace. St. Clair's was trying to change that up a little bit, trying to play a bit faster, a bit more passing oriented. University of Michigan with a great response though to that playstyle. Typical trying to look for a hit there. Gonna leave it for Pack. Banger shot in the net. University of Michigan looking great. Pack one away from the trick, or not the trick shot, but the hat trick.
That trick, yes sir, yes sir. This is just a gut shot right to the middle, 61 miles an hour. I couldn't quite see, was that Riyadh or Yukira on the defensive attempt? Forgive me for sounding like a broken record, people, but this is the same exact situation. You just need a little bit of crisper rotations here from the St. Clair Saints, and this is a much more evenly handed game that we have seen thus far. And because these are like methodical blocks, it's just really quick transitions offensively from the University of Michigan, then moving the ball down the pitch frequently and just with such ease and quickness that's setting up these opportunities to score.
Hero with a great defensive play right there, just able to get it around one with a good hard hit. And now Riyadh on the 50 shot from Pack, maybe a double, but it's going to be saved from the St. Clair's. A little bit of a triple commit. Juventix not able actually to put it down on net. Hits that to the right side. Now St. Clair with a little bit of life. 4-goal lead. Going to be hard, but this 50 is going to be hit into the midfield. Juventix able to keep up the pressure from University of Michigan. Maybe the double tap. Maybe on net. Set up for Typical. Typical. Nothing like his name. Beautiful shot. Always there for the passing plays.
Nicely done. Take your hat off, throw it into the rink, because that's the hat trick here for Typical J. 5 shots attempted, hit 3, batting 600 now, I'll have you know. 52 seconds left in this game number 1 of this best of 5. I'm going to say, barring a miracle, barring a Herculean effort here from the St. Clair Saints, we are not going to see a comeback.
Never say never, though. You know, you might see St. Clair's coming back. You know, I don't know. I'm a bit more of an optimist when it comes to
we have to play the good cop and bad cop here.
I guess so. I guess you're right. Back with the 50, though. He doesn't want to give them any bit of life right now. University of Michigan just needing to shut them out, keeping up that pressure, just take the ball off their hands. Just try to mess around with them a little bit, try to bait them out, waste their boost. 15 seconds left. It's going to be almost impossible for St. Clair's to really get anything, unfortunately. Riyadh, good flick forward. Is going to be Juventix on the defense, going to take the slow with a dribble, trying to kill this ball. Maybe an air dribble bump for the road. He gets it. 6-0 for Michigan. Juventix looking strong, showing what he has in stock for these guys.
Yeah, and just the fact that everybody on the side of University of Michigan has now put points onto the board. Obviously, typical Jay with the hat trick, Hawk with 2, now Juventix with 1. Garbage time doesn't matter. I mean, doesn't ultimately matter. Still looks nice on the stat scoreboard and whatnot, and shows that University of Michigan can rotate this ball around, not just rotate themselves around the ball.
And University of Michigan it was a real domination right there. It was 6 plus 4. That's 11 shots coming out for Michigan compared to just 1, which you got to start thinking maybe University of Michigan was kind of maybe their record was a bit false. Maybe we came out a bit too early with those predictions, but University of Michigan, great response opening game for game 1.
This could entirely be a factor of just like, obviously, the NEC has literally hundreds of esports teams that are playing, and it's not a simple task to balance schedules of all of these teams. Also, people can make power rankings all day long. Just take to Twitter for all of that. Sometimes these power rankings don't hold up, or frequently, I would say, especially in collegiate stuff, these power rankings don't necessarily hold up, so even if you had it, it'd be difficult to make. And sometimes you might just end up with a situation where the first half of your schedule is just a little bit easier. That might be the situation that we're looking at right now. It may be a laundry list of other factors right here. But I'll tell you 2 things. First, it may be that, and second, it is definitely partly because the St. Clair Saints Academy squad just are not quick enough on their defensive rotations. Logic would follow, Thea, that after you see this happen, after you see this mistake once or twice of them just not being in the position, and the only difference there is just cutting in your rotation a quarter of a second, a half of a second sometimes, a little bit earlier, and just getting there. That doesn't happen not once, but twice, then thrice, then 4 times, and they allowed it to happen the 5th. I won't blame them for the 6th. This was an all-offense type situation.
Wow, oh my goodness. Yeah. Dude.
Never mind, that was not that. They were in position and everything, and typically just took them to town.
I know, it's just this pure pressure. They're just smothering the St. Clair's defense, with that pinch. It's just so hard to defend. You want to play aggressive. You want to get that ball out of your net, but it's so hard to find those clears when University of Michigan are playing pitch-perfect offense right now. Juventix trying to keep that up. This is going to be a bit of a possession for University of Michigan, although it is going to be hard for them to convert on this. It's going to be over typical. Beat by Riyadh. Now Brisk up in the air, trying to take the shot, but it's going to be off the net into the corner of Michigan. And now maybe on the backboard. It's not going to be anywhere near. Pack should be able to clean this up with a good air dribble, maybe over 1. Could be a pass mid, but it's going to be too far out for Typical to follow. Gets demoed as well by Ukir, and now Ukir on the defensive play, trying to get that momentum built up, trying to get this off their side. Still struggling, though, in Typical, just putting on that pressure. Juventix now also there on the sidewall. 50 maybe to the center, maybe a shot for Pat, but it's 50 away, saved from St. Clair.
We might get a stat look in just a second, just so we can see just how many shots the University of Michigan was absolutely peppering this backboard with. I would be surprised if the number was less than 4. One of the longest, only 2 right there, excuse me. It seemed like there was a lot of pressure right there, but not going to be enough for more than just the one typical J goal. Now, this one going back the other way. Long-winded that the offensive drive was, regardless, though. It is very infrequent that your opponent's going to score on you from cross pitch like that. So just the simple fact that they're ahead and they're spending all that time in the offense is a W.
University of Michigan looking also pretty comfortable on their defensive side. You did see in that game 1 a bit of a harder rotation coming out from them. Oh, as soon as I say that, there's that caster's curse dunk from Riyadh to St. Clair, that tying goal in this game too. Pack, it's a bit of a light touch, tries to go for the flip reset, feeling a bit saucy, but Riyadh was having none of that. Dunk straight into the net. Fast banger at 62 miles an hour. Tie game with 3:20 left.
It took a little while longer, but the St. Clair Saints now on the board, whereas this was, even if it's a 1-0 game, you spend 2 full Rocket League games without a goal on the board, with the two goose eggs right there. It's just, the momentum there is just null and void. Speaking of, though, there's a little bit of momentum coming back the other way. Everybody having to flip for this one. Typical Jay thinking that he had to get into position, but Pac now taking this one off the right wall, still with a player back. So St. Clair Saints have not cut their rotations, but a great stop there from Riyadh, and just a more methodical no. Brisk coming out of nowhere on this one. Fantastic job. Now pressure the other way.
Oh!
Wow.
Oh!
No
Okay,
way.
that's it.
Okay, all right,
okay,
all right,
cool.
all right, all right.
I was
All right, calm
really
down.
worried at that first, like the first shot. You're just trying to pepper the defender, just trying to get him out. So it's fine if you whiff it. I thought no one was there on that second. I was like, oh my goodness. St. Clair's though able to take the lead in game 2. A good offensive pressure. University of Michigan looking a bit stranded on defense, very far apart, not able to keep up with the pace necessarily of the St. Clair's offense, but now it's going to be back on the corner trying to respond. Typical close shot, going to be in the corner though. Euchre should have some sort of possession, but it's going to be back to Brisk. Maybe a shot on net. Typical just a bit too far off to put that on net, and now St. Clair's with the offensive pressure. It's going to be a shot saved, not necessarily on net though. Pac trying to get that a 50. Typical actually, it gets the redirect instead in the midfield. Now Euchre low boost, 12 boost in the tank, trying to get the 50. And on the sidewall, 50 out should be good for Riyadh.
Yeah, that did all of that with 12 boost as well. Now the St. Clair Saints with the lead. Offensive pressure, a hit down bottom as the teammate takes out the defender right there, takes out the goalie. That's Riyadh right down there, just whips it around and does exactly what he needs to. That's just, and that's the other thing too, this isn't a demo, right? There's just a bare little tap that gets him out of position, not able to score. Now, what, St. Clair was fighting for to even get a single goal in game number 1. Looks like a thing of the past here in game number 2.
St. Clair's already looking very more confident. You know, you saw that second man instantly take the ball away from the kickoff. And it did start out as some pretty good pressure, but Pac's able to get a lot of these good players. University of Michigan really able to just get the ball off their side. A bit better than St. Clair, although St. Clair has been converting more offensive pressure than Michigan in this game too. Pinch coming out from Typical. It's going to be a free clear for Brisk. Brisk taking that to the right side, hoping from a redirect for Riyadh. Riyadh's just going to take this off the wall, trying to take this a bit slow. Possession. Awkward hits in the midfield, 50 for Pac, and now this might be a good shot opportunity. Riyadh has to rush in there, messes up the shooter just a little bit. Should come out unscathed for St. Clair. Now on the offensive pressure, maybe a shot that's going to be hit back to the midfield.
Yeah, read perfectly out. Now this is pressure back the other way. Riyadh and Yukira both go up for this one. Maybe a little bit of miscommunication on that one. Not 2 players necessary to get this one back to the other side of the field. Lack of offensive pressure there leads to possession the other way. Now a back pass, or really just putting this one up. Pac and Brisk. Pac's going to get a mild advantage.
Good 50 coming out from Euchre back into the corner. University of Michigan. They've been in there a lot recently in this game in a nasty attempt at a redirect. Almost went in. Honestly, almost had it. Just a bit hard of a jump to make. Euchre still keeping up on that possession on the left wall. 12 boost to work with. Tries to get it around 1. Gets it around Typical. This is technically an open net, and it's scoreable for St. Clair. Riyadh with the rebound. 4-1 right now for St. Clair with 20 seconds left. It's looking like a bit of a dire situation for University of Michigan.
Yeah, given that they were doubling up right there, and I mean nobody was really in position. This was just University of Michigan trying to pour everything into getting like a 20-30 second goal or so to make this a 3-2 game that is much more manageable. Now 3 scores, 12 seconds, not going to happen. We have a comeback factor of 1 here, tied series now for the St. Clair Saints.
5 seconds left. We're a bit in garbage time right now. Just trying to mess around on the clock. Just trying to do maybe something a bit fancy to end off this game. Typical wants to keep this up, though, but it's going to be instantly hit down. St. Clair is taking game 2 of the series with a good rebound off that game 1 loss. And you can see they had much more offensive pressure opposed to that one shot. But they got 7 saves as opposed to 4 from University of Michigan. Defense starting to get back up there.
Yeah, these are the kinds of numbers that are much more manageable when you're talking about balancing an offense and a defense, Fiat. The St. Clair Saints just figured it out much more so in game number 2. I just honestly don't think these Wolverines were ready for this one. I think they took a 6-0 in the first one. It was like, maybe took the foot off the pedal here a little bit, especially when you're talking about passing plays. They're much more prevalent in the first one. Obviously, they had possession for like 80% of the time or whatever else like that, if you kind of correlate that to shots attempted and whatnot. But here in game number 2, that simply wasn't an easy situation that they found themselves in. They're going to have to change their game plan if they want to come back on this one and kind of prevent a reverse sweep for Michigan, of course.
Of course, yeah. I mean, Michigan, they were still looking pretty decent, right? But there were definitely those mistakes on defense. I think they were so comfortable on that offensive pressure, just keeping it on their side, that they kind of forgot what their defensive identity kind of looks like as a team. And so that left a lot of open net opportunities for St. Clair. And St. Clair did take a very good advantage, looking like much more of a unit. You can see there's a lot of more communication, especially on the kickoff, on who's going to have the ball, who's going to have that possession. And so St. Clair looking like a really solid team coming back in that game too. Hopefully, game 3, we can pull out another win. And on that kickoff, it's going to be Euchre in that to the side wall, and Pack trying to take the shot, but it's going to be hit to the corner, Riyadh to the left side wall.
Yeah, 10 seconds into this one. Seems like the kickoff woes are mostly fixed from the University of Michigan. They've spent the entirety of this one in the offense until it's just completely given away to Euchre with a big boost in pocket. Confusing plays here. As soon as I lobbed them from the University of Michigan Wolverines.
That takes in the air, 50 by Riyadh. Gonna be to the midfield pass, maybe a shot. Ooh. It's just gonna be a bit too far off, bit too much sauce. Euchre finishes it off. University of Michigan having that hard time with that third man. Again, Pack win, and then typical turns up so far. Actually no, it was a whiff instead. I guess I misread that. Yeah, but typical needed to hit that right there because that third man just wasn't able to rotate fast enough.
I mean, especially given that you want to kind of have some sort of midfield or offensive pressure. This is, just one person to blame. That happens. Single mistake here does not mean the end of University of Michigan here in this game. Number 3, regardless, even if they lose this one, then that's match point conversations we can have. 45 seconds into this one. Some more pressure here until Juventix has something to say about it. Takes it to the wall, burns everything to get there. And the St. Clair Saints are kind of on the back foot until Euchre has a fantastic possession to bring this one out to midfield.
Beautiful dunk. Riyadh should be able to get that save. He does. Good hit onto the corner. 2 go for St. Clair. It's going to be Pack. Bring that back to Juventix. Back to Pack. This is going to be in the air. Maybe a little bit of flip reset action. Tries to get on the backboard. Euchre able to put it in a safe spot in the corner. Now with a little bit of time, a little bit of space to work on this Juventix though. Good catch. Might be dunked. Riyadh goes the opposite way that he wanted, but it's going to be a back pass regardless. Pack able to shut it down though. Euchre trying to get the clear. Not as strong as would have liked, but it's going to be midfield anyway. Juventix shuts it down last second. University of Michigan finding their footing again in this game 3.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. That was a fantastic pass on the way inside, and even better read on the defensive side to kind of watch this play as it was unfolding, Fiat. This is the kind of defense that we got to see out of the, well, really out of both sides, especially if they're going to avoid, 3 score differences, 6 score differences like we saw in game 1 and 2.
He's going to opt to take that ball away from his teammate, University of Michigan, and trying to find some good offensive plays, hopefully some team-focused strategies. Unique touch. I'm not 100% sure what happened right there, but I have, if they have confidence, I have confidence in that play. Typical Jay now on the defensive side, getting the major clear.
Yeah, so we get what they were trying to do, but just as you go to execute this, you can tell you did not have fantastic positioning for the redirect down bottom. Just let this be an honest shot and waste the efforts of a single defender, and then try and take advantage of that time afterwards. But hey, hindsight 2020. Juventix bump down bottom. This is to nobody in particular. And St. Clair Saints can now completely flip the field. Start an offense, bounce down bottom. Typical covers it up completely as this one gets back down to the field for just a second. Euchre off the ceiling. Excuse me, Typical J off the ceiling. Excuse me, I won't get it wrong again.
Definitely. I have faith in you, Tugbo. You are my goat in terms of casting. Oh, Juventix almost my goat in terms of scoring right there. Got a close shot onto St. Clair Academy. Definitely trying to break them through. A pass attempt coming out from Michigan. Not scoreable. Juventix just a bit too far away, although it was a bit of an awkward pass. A very hard angle to get without completely committing to that play. Risk. Ooh, a little bit of mechanics. I like that back play, but it's going to be clear off their backboard. 2 go for University of Michigan. Pack not able to sustain that. Also gets demoed. Now St. Clair with a bit of space to work with. Juventix gets the instant pressure, but Briss should have the clear up to the high corner, and he does. Pack, bit of an awkward touch, and University of Michigan just trying to hold on, trying to find anything they can right now. Get this ball off their side. Juventix looks like he might have this, but not enough boost. A pinch coming out, might be a center, might be a high shot.
Nice.
Bar down hack. Beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful. Juventix, like, that's a pre-jump plus some from Riyadh right there to try and cover this one up and stop it before it gets really bad. But that's a perfect pinch, perfectly positioned, and not too hard either. Set up the teammate and tie this game back up. 60 seconds to go. What do you do if you're Michigan? You want to bring this one back?
Got no clue, but hit ball, see ball, go ball, ball in net. You know, that's the whole strategy of Rocket League, right? You don't. Sometimes you just gotta play that simple game. You can't overthink those rotations. You can't just keep thinking, okay, if we do this like strategy on defense or this like play on offense, we'll score all the time. You just gotta play the game. You just gotta keep going. Even just take the punches and roll with them. It looks like Michigan is doing just that right now, especially with the comeback in their grasp. But Euchre trying to get a bit of a possession here. Typical J up on the sidewall, pinch with 0 boost. Not going to go too far, except for in the hands of Briss on the wall. 50 down from Juventix, gets 2 away from the ball, and another 50, just keeping it up on the St. Clair side. Hit to the corner, but it's going to be shut down by St. Clair. We might have overtime here. 8 seconds left. Can St. Clair maybe get this 0-second goal? That's going to be a very light touch, but it's still on the wall for Riyadh. Riyadh now up in the air, maybe to the midfield. Briss, awkward turn, and Euchre opting to let that ball die. Overtime in Game 3.
Hey, we saw a 6-0 shellacking in Game 1. We saw 4-1 going the other way. Why wouldn't we see overtime in Game number 3? I love it. I love it. A back-and-forth match this has been so far and does not fail to deliver. Here in game number 3 of 5, potentially. Oh, Riyadh almost with a dirty pass accepted right there. You get a fantastic shot. Just a tiny bit difference, and that would have been inside all day long. Now to the outside, Juventix with the blow. There you go, with the demo and Pack with the shot. University of Michigan right here. I almost said with the blow up. I was like, wait, that does not sound right.
A bit of chaos in front of the net. The demo's coming out from University of Michigan. Looking strong, getting that Game 3 back from them, now leading on series points in this series. St. Clair looking strong. University of Michigan just looking a bit stronger.
It's fair. It's fair. Also, every single goal in this game was assisted. Briss getting the assist for Euchre. Juventix getting both assists for a Pack here for the University of Michigan. I gotta say again, color me surprised a little bit. 7 total shots here for the winning University of Michigan squad, but then 4 on the other side, but in a 2-1 barn burner that goes all the way down to overtime. That said, regardless, we're looking advantage now here for the Michigan Wolverines. They'll be putting this other squad, the St. Clair Saints, on a match point, potentially.
Definitely. University of Michigan does have this lead in this series, but it definitely by no means is any kind of cushion for them to fall back and take the gas off, because you saw St. Clair still looking like they're trying to they have a lot of fight left in them, especially on those offensive pressure. You can get that pinch, those mechanical plays, get a bit saucy with them. You might be able to find something a bit more of what St. Clair really wants to see in terms of their team chemistry. But University of Michigan just played very fundamental Rocket League, very solid rotations, you know, didn't try to do anything fancy, just put the ball in the net, you know, and play good defense. And it worked out for them in this game too, now on the match point, right? So you have to think, just keep doing that again, right?
Yeah, the reduction in complication, right? I think that University of Michigan, again, just really enjoyed themselves game number 1. At the end of the day, the fancy footwork, not 100% necessary, as they just give, like you said, back to the basics. Take a win there in game number 3, overtime notwithstanding.
In the middle, it's going to be really fast. St. Clair having a bit more pressure onto their back, where it's going to be Juventix trying to get the 50. He isn't able to get a touch. Almost 50's Pack the air, but Pack has always had those really good first touches, even throughout this series, just able to take possession in the air very, very well, helping University of Michigan out by playing those slow plays. Juventix trying to go up for one more, but it's going to be Pack with the monster clear to the left side, and now typical J there with the instant challenge. This could be some good pressure, but Euchre able to get a good, decent clear. Pack's going to be a bit too awkward to really clear this out.
Speaking of, Juventix now gets it past one. There's only one player back here right now, and that's a good job from Yukir to just kind of slow down this play, purchase their teammates a little bit of time to get back and kind of assume the same kind of defensive stance. Now that's a clear the other way, 51. That's a shot on point. Talk about transitioning a defense into an offense.
Corner hit from St. Clair's side. 3:40 left on this clock. You know that this is a very tough game when no one scored in this first minute. Now Juventix trying to change that high hit, the Riyadh going for the double tap. Going to be shut down by Typical, though. Typical with one more. Riyadh going for some demo plays. You like to see that. You like to see some of that aggression, some of that uniqueness to those new offensive plays, because you know if you just lost that game 3, you do want to do something just a bit different. Catch Michigan off guard right here, and it looks like it's going to be a shot. Juventix comes in last second, decides to cut. It's going to be a clear shot on net. It's going to be open. Euchre able to take the first goal in this game 4.
Euchre mostly opting for the defensive roles right here. We can just see on display right now, just nose perfectly in. That's about as fast as they come, 64 miles an hour on that one. That'd be like 108 kilometers an hour for our friends up north.
Well, Jay now trying to do something. It's a bit bumped though. That's going to be a bit unfortunate for Michigan. They thought they had something a bit good right there, but those bumps, those aggressive plays are really going to shut those down super early. It's going to be maybe even a bit frustrating for the University of Michigan side. Yeah, they won game 3 off of the demo, but game 4, it's looking like that strategy might not work. A pass to the midfield, almost on net. Riyadh taking the slow 50 with Pack. It's going to be pinched too high. Now on the air, it's going to be brisk, maybe a 50. It's going to be a pass to Euchre. Juventix going for the demo, but a miss from Michigan. That's going to really stall out that play. Juventix in the most awkward situation right now. Gets pumped. It's from left to right on the other side of the field. Pack, though, able to convert it into a little bit of pressure right now. St. Clair a bit boost-starved, I believe. They're playing pretty slow, not able to get the momentum going. It looks like it's going to be brisk, trying to bring that back.
Just bumps upon bumps upon bumps right there. Everybody getting physical with each other. Nobody really coming out on top, barring the the one-score lead right now from the Saints. Shot back down bottom. The University of Michigan simply has to work on getting these passes out better, because St. Clair is just consistently getting inside their passing lanes, intercepting ball, taking away possession, and just wasting time, because again, I mean, especially a lower scoring game, Riyadh putting up one right here. Insurance goal has been purchased. 105 seconds stand between us right now and the University of Michigan, giving up a lead and going into a game number 5.
Yeah, and you have to think Michigan started off so strong in that game 1. They were really just playing their own momentum, playing their own game. They looked confident, especially on that offensive pressure. But in this game 4, it's looking like they're having a harder time keeping up with that pace. Almost a shot demo coming out from Juventix, trying to put a bit of odd pressure onto St. Clair. Now over one Pack, maybe with a double, it's going to be too high. Another double, another chance. Riyadh able to shut that down. University of Michigan sending all 3 players there, but luckily they're not going to get scored onto that, but still trailing by 2 against St. Clair. University of Michigan trying to find something, trying to pull something out of their hat, but it doesn't look like it's really coming out right now.
It really isn't. It really isn't. Everything is being thrown against the wall right now. Both of these teams to an extent, but much more so for our team in the blue. Riyadh trying to pick this one up down bottom, and the St. Clair Saints are just dedicating a defensive player back. That's a solid shot right there. Euchre realizing there's not going to be any defensive roles to come for a couple of seconds. That's served perfectly centered, but Juventix a little bit too high.
Ooh.
Still with a player back. Riyadh flipping, twisting, and turning, but can't quite get the right angle onto that ball.
St. Clair, they're just looking way more confident than they were at the beginning of that series. As soon as I say that, though, inch pass, I believe, coming out from Juventix. Pack getting the credit for that score. Juventix just takes the dribble, gets it around 1, and then Pack instantly there for the follow-up. So far into the net that that's going to be impossible to save. Now 1 goal left with 32 seconds. University of Michigan still have a chance at this, and that might be a decent enough kickoff. Pack able to get the beat, taking the slow, maybe a 50, maybe a pass, gets it maybe around 1. Not sure, but not able to get the center, put it on net, but that's going to be another pressure. University of Michigan keeping this on the side very well of St. Clair, and now on the hit to the sidewall. 10 seconds left. University of Michigan needs a bit of luck on their side for this one. Looks like it's going to be a clear, maybe on the backboard pack, a bit too awkward, and Brisk shuts down that dream. We have game 5 in the series.
Absolutely. 3 seconds, 2 goals is not going to happen, given that these players aren't going to put down their controllers to play kickoffs. But game 5 coming on up. I love it. We saw a pretty even-handed back and forth in the best of 5, a 3-0 win for the Army West Point Esports Black Knight squad. 3-1, 3-2, 3-1 across that series, and now we got a game 5 here as the St. Clair Saints have battled back after a game 1 that was completely one-sided in every way, shape, and form. Michigan's coming up with, what is that, double the amount of attempted shots as well. The St. Clair Saints making 3 of them work on 4 attempts. Wow. Wow.
Wow, indeed. You know, I think this match has been so back and forth. You really don't know who has the momentum for this next game. And yeah, University of Michigan started off strong, but St. Clair is really coming back into their element as a team. They're showing why they've been performing so well in the season, I believe, you know, and it's like these games, it can be really hard to keep up. It's kind of an endurance test at this point, right, with this game 5. And so you're just trying to make sure that you're playing clean and that you're not making mistakes, and most of all, communicating. Because a lot of the errors that you're seeing, a lot of these double commits, a lot of these open nets could be fixed with correct communication.
Yeah, and the big thing here is that that's an easy thing to improve upon and just immediately correct in what is the most important time of these matches, which is right now, the time in between, so they can kind of talk about what exactly it is that they were doing wrong and what they don't want to have happen again in a game 5. Best of 5 series boiled to a best of 3 series, now a one and done between these two teams, and it just when you're talking about postseason stuff, it just means so much more for the University of Michigan, the Wolverines. They're 2-2 right now. There's only a couple more matches they even have to play. Obviously, the reschedule coming in from February 7th, I believe. We'll get stats on that whenever they do post them and whatnot. But this just means a lot more for a squad that's trying to finally push into positive territory after being 2-2 throughout. When you're talking about not postseason stuff necessarily, maybe securing an actual perfect season, now you're talking about the St. Clair Saints. 4-0 right here, so for both of these teams, there's a lot to fight for right now.
Yeah, and this is game 5. This is high pressure stakes right here. If you lose it, you lose the series. And that's one of the things that some teams will struggle with, you know, just trying to play under that pressure at game 5. I know I've had my difficulties whenever I've played series. Game 5 can always be a bit scarier than I think it is, and then it comes around and you just kind of lose. You lose momentum. But I don't think that either teams are really going to lose momentum just quite yet. Pack on the defensive, hitting that into the corner. Typical J. A good follow-up, reading that play pretty easily. A bit of a slower paced game right now in game 5. Looking for the bumps though. University of Michigan is still trying to get physical right there. St. Clair needs to watch out for that. Make sure they aren't giving up too much space that would leave open for those demos. Euchre in the air might be a little bit of an offensive pressure. Typical J able to get a shutdown, but it's going to be a shot on net. Pack in with clear.
Yeah, interrupting this one before it got really, really hairy. Back to the middle, typical Jay gets an awesome ball pass to it, but just not really in right position and right time. University of Michigan are going to be kicking themselves after this awesome offensive play gets transitioned to an awesome offensive opportunity the other way. St. Clair scores off of this one. They're really going to be wanting to have that one back.
Euchre taking some time against the clear to the right side. Going to bait out typical just a little bit. Bit of an awkward touch. 50 though on the left side of the field. It's going to be 2 going for University of Michigan. This is going to be a hard rotation back to the third man. Pack trying to just play this slow though. Does play it slow very, very well. No one on St. Clair really wanted to challenge them. They knew that that 50 probably wasn't going to go in their favor. And then
Whoa.
2 right there. Had to jump for that for St. Clair in order to make sure that was safe. A little bit of an opportunity for University of Michigan. They're getting close to finding this first goal.
Yes, they are. They're trying to mine away at this one on a double tap, and they're going to be really, really happy that not one, but both of those are way too high. Euchre now in perfect positioning. The defense has been set up for the St. Clair Saints. The offensive opportunity here for the University of Michigan, unfortunately, squandered.
Ventic still keeping it on the St. Clair side. A good clear, though, coming out from Euchre, trying to get that as a pass to Brisk. Brisk will be a bit too far back, gets 50, now back into the midfield on this left side. Uventix trying to get the hit. It's going to be a bit of boomer ball right now. Typical J gets the miss off the backboard, though.
Yep.
It's going to be an open net Riyadh. An unfortunate little turn of events for Michigan.
I think typical J might have thought that this one was going in, so he comes up to try and get the defensive block. This was really just a redirect over to the right side, or ideally a wall pinch against the very top of that backboard to send this one screaming over to the right side. Maybe a split decision. The split decision makes them, and that's going to be the first score right pretty much exactly at halftime.
Exactly. St. Clair is still looking strong on that defense. As
Ooh,
soon as I say that, another caster's curse. Uventix with the shot, taking advantage of that open space right there. One win, getting demo chase, and it's that physical game coming out from Michigan again, giving them those nets, giving them those opportunities. They just need to play off of those strengths, able to take that, and they should be able to get this game as long as St. Clair keeps doing what they're doing.
Yeah, so St. Clair right here, they enjoy a lead for all of, what, 10 seconds or something like this, and then a little bit of a shutdown on the other side, back to a true neutral situation. 2 minutes, 8 seconds, nice takeaway there from D. Okay, Uventix just kind of waiting in the wings for another big pass all the way down this pitch. I'm not against that, actually. Leave a, middle player. Okay, I was going to say leave a middle player and a goalie, but of course in this equation, your goalie has to block shots.
Definitely. That's kind of always the hardest part of Rocket League, at least in my opinion. It's just blocking shots. They can just come in so fast, and it looks like they're trying to get one more. St. Clair, maybe a shot on net, but Uventix able to get the hit off of the sidebar, but they're going to keep up that pressure right now onto Michigan. It's going to be in the midfield pack, though. Maybe with the 50, but it's going to be a good dunk from Riyadh now. Uventix in the air, trying to go for the flipper set, maybe under one. Brisk with an awkward touch, going to be upfield though. Good pressure for St. Clair. No one goes in time. Pack, zero boost, still able to get a bit of a baby shot, but still works out for Michigan. Now maybe a shot for Typical. The bump coming out.
Nice.
Typical J able to put it into the net. 2-1 lead for Michigan, taking it back, trying to finish the series out.
Uventix sets this one up just perfectly, and Typical J just swings for the fences on that one. Doesn't swing for the fences, positioned it perfectly, I should say, because this wasn't like a particularly hard hit inside. It was perfectly positioned in a situation that needed to have pinpoint accuracy.
In the air with 1 minute 05, Euchre trying to get maybe a bit of a flip reset, looking for those saucy plays, exactly kind of what you want to see, but also you don't want to give so much time, take such a slow play that you're going to get dunked and that your teammates are going to be on so much pressure, especially on the defense. Euchre now, fast hit, Pack is up early, get the hit, backboard looking for the double tap, almost there. Uventix almost takes the shot, but it's just going to be a bit too hard of an angle for him to put that on net. Now Typical J up on the 50. It's going to be Euchre with a little bit of a bump wrist trying to get that 50. It passes mid. Typical J with a good cut off. Michigan now stuck on their side just a little bit, but that's perfectly fine as long as they keep this lead.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Now a little bit of waste time type situation. University of Michigan on defense. Goalie all but pulled here for the St. Clair Saints Academy. 10 seconds to go. Needing a miracle, I should say. That's a decent little angle, and Typical J had the opportunity to waste this one away and guarantee a dub. Now kept aloft. Oh no! I mistimed that. Excuse me. University of Michigan does a fantastic job of grounding this one out. I thought we had one more bounce. I thought we had one more bounce on that one.
I thought we did too. I thought somebody would have been able to catch it, but I guess when you're in Michigan's situation, right, you kind of just want that ball down immediately. You already have the series win. Just try to get it on the ground as soon as you can, right? But honestly, after that first game, you could just see that University of Michigan was hungry for this win. That 6-0 game one was just dominance, pure dominance. They played perfectly in that game, that offensive pressure was perfect. They didn't really need to care too much about their defense. But towards the middle of that series, it started getting a bit more rocky, but luckily they were able to close it out better than what I would have expected, because St. Clair was just playing very good fundamentals.
Yeah, and like and the up and down season so far, the University of Michigan continues. Both of their losses, they at least took a single map. One of their losses, or no, excuse me, both of their wins, excuse me, were both complete 3-0 sweeps. Now they face a little bit of rocky roads, but still come out on top. 3-2 victory here to improve to 3-2 on the season. 2 more matches still. Oh, excuse me. Oh my goodness. Almost died right there. No schedules right there, but they do have their match next week as well. So still within fighting territory here for the Michigan Wolverines.
Definitely 3-2, not a bad record so far. You know, you do still have that chance for the playoffs, or at least I'm assuming they have the chance. I haven't checked the full groups, but 3-2, I'd say that's about the middle of the pack with the opportunity to boost up. And I think really, when it comes to these types of game 5s, right, it really just shows the depth of a lot of these collegiate teams in terms of their skill level and in terms of their ideology of how they play. You know, University of Michigan wanted to get a bit physical. They were able to adapt to that a little bit. And St. Clair, though, they had really that kind of responsive play style where they're trying to think, okay, University of Michigan was doing this, let's do this in response. And you could really see that in their play, in their rotations. But unfortunately, it just wasn't enough to really get past that high-pressure offense that Michigan was putting on.
Yeah, and Michigan, it came in flashes, but as does most offenses, they come like that with just like a lot of pressure all at once in your face. Does it work? Okay, we're going to put up 6 goals right there. That kind of continues in certain aspects, but this really was like wrestling victory from the jaws of defeat. Games 3, 4, and 5. All of them one-score. No, excuse me, St. Clair Saints getting, yeah, that was like the last second goal right there in the game number 4. Didn't ultimately matter. They still took it down right there. But let's take a look at we can't be living in the past anymore here, Fiat. We can't be living in the past. We got Grand Canyon University and Southern Miss from the Legends Group B coming in next to do battle. Fiat, do you have anything else for the good people before we go to a very short break? This will be like 5 minutes.
You know what? Tune back in soon. We got a great matchup for you. You know, GCU. That's always a team to watch out for.
Absolutely. 0 and 5 taking on 3 and 3. Writing might be on the wall a little bit for that one, but we will find out when we come back.
welcome back, folks. Week 5 on the Rocket League mainstream for NECC. We've had a superb day in terms of our matchups, so hopefully we can give you a few more great matches. I'm joined by my partner in crime, Mr. FBI Tugboat. Mr. Tugboat, welcome back.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. It was a short break indeed. We got some more Rocket League action coming right at you guys.
We have GCU versus Southern Miss today. Some of the best teams that we have currently in the league. GCU right now 0-5 record, yet to find their win. It looks like they probably will not be able to make the playoffs. Southern Miss, though, still in the midst. They're at 3-3 currently on the record. This matchup is bound to be close, as these teams are still very good in terms of their skill level, but you have to think, what are these teams trying to do in this match?
Legends Group B here, excuse me. For GCU, it would be it's the same. It's actually the same exact situation as we saw last time, just flip situations, right? But take a look at GCU. They're 0-5. They the opposite situation of the St. Clair Saints coming into their matchup. But therefore, this squad is 0-5. It would be fantastic to find their first match win. Frappy, Nando, and Super Big Steve gonna be looking for this one. They've only gotten shut out one single time this season so far, and that was to Maryville. The Southern Miss also experienced that. We'll talk a little bit about just how similar these two teams' performance against other teams have been. Let's take a look now at Southern Miss.
Southern Miss, University of Southern Mississippi, coming in with Astro Zath and Melodic. Southern Miss has gone 3-3. They've looked pretty back and forth in terms of their matchups, with their most recent game being against Cumberland Phoenix. 3-2 win on the day, which is a solid performance, although still very close. You know, Southern Miss still trying to figure out as a team how exactly they're trying to get the edge over their opponents, and you know that does come with time with these kinds of rosters. You know, developing your own identity, and you really do want to see though some special passing plays at this point of the season. Though you want to see a lot of teamwork, because I think that's probably the hardest thing to counter as a defense is those passing plays. It can be hard to keep track of 3 players at once and having to be in the perfect position in order to defend that.
100% agreed, Fiat. 100% agreed. Astro Zath Melodic would get these passing plays, turn them into points like Rocket League Alchemy coming in just a little bit. At this point, I want to take a little second and talk about, like, maybe it would make more sense to run through all the weeks here for both, and then just kind of point out just how freaking similar these two teams have had in performance-wise against other teams. GCU 1-3 Northwood Blue in Week 1. Cumberland Phoenix Maroon lost at a 3-2 scoreline. Week 3 coming on in here against Ole Miss. 1-3 loss right there. Week 4 UCSB Gold. The University of California at Santa Barbara Gold Squad lost 3-1 last week. Week 5 that was a 0-3 loss to Maryville. Going through Southern Miss, I'm going to do it quickly. A 0-3 loss against Illinois State. 0-3 win against UCSB Gold. 1-3 loss in week number 3 against Northwood Blue. Followed up with a 0-3 sweep against them. Loss against Maryville there in week 4. Week 5, Cumberland Phoenix Maroon. 3-2 win in their makeup that was played just a couple of days ago. This March 6th against Ole Miss. A win at 3-2. Almost every single one of these matches has a very similar mirror on the other side, right? Northwood Blue beat both of these teams at a 3-1. That was in week 1 for Grand Canyon University. That was week 3 for Southern Miss. Taking a look, UCSB Gold 1-3-0 against Southern Miss, lost 3-0 against Southern Miss. They beat Grand Canyon University, but took a map off, and that's the biggest difference between these two teams so far, especially when you look at Cumberland Phoenix Maroon, right? 3-2 victory, Southern Miss. 3-2 loss, Grand Canyon University.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and standings are always a bit deceptive. You know, numbers don't always tell the full story, especially in terms of Rocket League. In Southern Miss, you know, you have very high talented players, but also it's not just about your individual skill, it's about your skill as a team. And so the record might show 3-3 for Southern Miss right now, that they are a bit at 50-50 in the season. But still, they still have that ability to come back into the season, show what they're all about, you know, and just make a big impact towards the end of this season, hopefully getting into playoffs. GCU, though, in a bit of a harder position, 0 and 5, only going
Sure.
very close with Cumberland Phoenix. You saw that with Southern Miss too. That's that correlation you were talking about, Tugboat. And it's really hard. I've casted a few of GCU's games, and they do look solid. They look like a team that knows what they're doing. But it also feels like they sometimes lack confidence in their own ability, in their own thought. So you really just want to see them come more into their element, right? Feel more comfortable with the players that they are. Try not to get too creative when it comes to changing up your style. But, stick to the fundamentals and try changing little things here and there. You don't want to go too crazy with it, or else you're just going to end up with some sort of gameplay resembling just 3-man committing in front of your own net, and then it's an open net. And that's exactly what you want to avoid right now with GCU.
Yeah, so the performances against the various teams is very similar, a categorical difference. You started out this broadcast asking me a question about what it kind of means for these teams. The answer postseason-wise is nothing, unfortunately, for our squad out of Colorado. That is Grand Canyon University. 0-5 right now, improving to 1-5 would not change their current 0% chance of making into the playoffs, barring any kind of crazy rule that I have not heard of. Southern Miss, on the other hand, very similar situation. The University of Michigan Wolverines earlier trying to improve above that 500 level, right? Try to go 4-3 and really take a swing at this postseason. Once they get there, though, I mean, two of their losses are 3-0 shellackings against Illinois State and Maryville. At least their game against North was blue. Obviously, North were the multiple teams. At least that they were able to take a map off, and then thereby proving that even giants can bleed. That is not the same story that they will be singing, or not the same song that they'll be singing, excuse me, in the event they meet up with Maryville and Illinois State in the postseason, which is almost a guarantee given how good those two teams have been doing here in Legends Group B.
Yeah, and generally speaking, in terms of teams that might be struggling throughout their season, you'll generally start to see a sense of just more, not necessarily carelessness, but not as much care for their defensive structure. And by that I mean mostly like trying to go for flashy plays, risky plays. Plays that might pay off short term, but if not done properly, are going to be very, very punishing. And both of these rosters have definitely had experience on that, both on mainstream and just in their regular season. You start building up a bit too much spice, you have that game lead, and then you kind of just fall off because you were doing just a bit too much, you were going a bit too risky, and the other team was able to respond. So generally speaking, you'll see a bit of more of that freedom in terms of that play, but also you still need to make sure that you're keeping it structured in terms of your rotation, in terms of your team chemistry, and with the records right now, I'm sure they've definitely been, both of these teams have been experimenting necessarily with what they want to do as a team. 3-3, 0-5. Those are times where it's just like, just start messing around, start figuring out what you think is gonna work, and just start throwing stuff at the wall and see what sticks, right?
Absolutely. There's gonna be a lot of action, a lot of seeing what sticks coming up in just a minute. We're waiting on a player. We'll be back with you guys and stop, chatting in your ear a little bit. Give you a short break. Back with you in just a bit. Welcome back. GCU, our 0-5 squad as of right now, looking for their first match win of the regular season. Southern Miss looking to improve from their 3-3 record, go above 500. FBI tugboat here with Fiat. Fiat, you with me?
I am with you. I'm with this game right now. Game 1, GCU, Southern Miss. A good matchup. Both these teams trying to find something good in this near the end of the season. And now Zach, 50 with Rocky. It's going to be Super Big Steve now on the shadow defense. A bit awkward right now for GCU, but they are able to take enough time to give them a good clear. Zach a bit too far out. Now it's going to be Astro with a good clear back to Nando, though, up in the air. Super Big Steve on the backboard. Might be a shot that's going to bounce really high for all of GCU. Not going to be perfectly on net. Almost a double, but it's saved last second.
Rocket Leaguer basketball. That ball was dribbling right out there in front of the goal. Dangerous situations, but pressure somewhat alleviated for the Southern Miss squad. A great redirect behind, and Froppy realizes the danger of this one and sends it to the corner and out.
Back in an awkward position, it's going to be Nando with the instant shot. Bottom right, Nando getting the lead for GCU here. Zath was backwards, hits into a backwards flip, and just loses possession completely of the ball. No one back on the Southern Miss side. A good start for GCU in this game 1. Hopefully, they'll be able to keep up that momentum. That's what they're looking for right here at this kickoff. A bit slow roller towards Melodic. Melodic able to get the thing out. Now Nando with the possession on his own side, maybe over one, leaving that for Froppy, though. It's going to be a bit of a light touch, rolling up the corner of Southern Miss. Southern Miss on their own backboard, looking for the pitch, looking for a clear. A 50 from Super Big Steve, going to go straight back to Zath, and Nando with the 50, looking a bit aggressive right now on GCU, trying to up the pace right now.
Yeah, so GCU doing a fantastic job on offense, not just maintaining possession, but again, peppering this backboard and net with shots upon shots. Southern Miss forced to act upon almost all of them, as that's going to be not an ideal situation. GCU members meeting in the air. It's like going all the way up like swans, but this ain't synchronized Rocket League. This is one man for the job in a single shot that was all that was necessary right there.
Ooh, almost a shot opportunity for Southern Miss. It's going to be converted anyways. Zath able to get the rebound from Misery. Misery tried to shoot that, but it was just going to be a bit of a back pass. But if it works, it works. And Zath able to put the shot around two defenders right next to each other. Nando, Super Big Steve, not really able to find what they were looking for. Southern Miss ties up the game. 2:54 left.
I called it not synchronized Rocket League. Those guys were jumping synchronized. Super Big Steve almost walks this one all the way in on from kickoff, but defender, wonky as it may have been, it was the movement that was necessary, blocked it away, and now Southern Miss on the offensive. Tie game, though, in 7 seconds outside of halftime.
50 mid pass. Astro not able to make contact. It's going to be sent to the right side. Nando now with a little bit of possession. Going to be instant challenge by Melodic. Melodic to Zath. Zath off the backboard. Maybe the double tap might be on. Not going to be put towards the net. GCU comes out mostly unscathed after that situation, but now on the sidewall, it's going to be Astro again trying to find something, but the rebound doesn't really go his way. Super Big Steve able to take that back into the corner. Froppy, good hit, gets it over Zath. It's going to be Melodic keeping this in. 15 boost, maybe a little bit of possession, maybe the dunk. Nando, another clear out. GCU, bit stuck on their side right now, not able to find a massive clear. Southern Miss doing a really good job of keeping up that pressure. Almost on net, almost an own goal, actually. Froppy able to get a decent touch, a bit of luck, but also a bit of mastery right there.
Yeah, seriously, that was almost a way too many cooks in the kitchen type situation. That one lofted across and then cleared huge factors by Froppy. Send this one back on over, and GCU looking to get something going on the offensive. Their offensive outside of the first 45 seconds or so, Fiat, has looked anemic, and they gotta get this cooking and eat a solid meal.
Yes, it looks like they are cooking a little bit right here. Zath with the beautiful pass from Melodic, just shooting that in, and Melodic just able to see that bit of open space. Nando jumps so early. Super Big Steve also has to commit because he knows that Nando isn't in any position to help him out right there, but it doesn't work out well. Southern Miss with the 1-goal lead, 120 into this, getting the kickoff. It's going to be Froppy, though. Froppy with the shot and the instant recovery, instant kickoff goal for GCU, able to tie that up immediately.
There might be 4 total scores in this game, but we have spent all of like 30 seconds outside of a tied situation, maybe, Fiat. Back to the tie we go. No real advantage here in game 1 of this best of 5 between Grand Canyon University and the Southern Miss Eagles.
With Nando, it's to the sidewall, but Froppy trying to get the beat almost on net. A little bit of a pinch coming out from Astro, able to take that possession, beats 1. Now on the ground, gets it over another midfield to the right. No one's there. You're asking, where's that second man? A bit too far out. Melodic, a bit scared to go on here. Doesn't have a great read on the defensive play. Super Big Steve able to take advantage of that with the dunk. Now Zath in his own corner. Maybe a 50-0 boost, though. Shot for Nando.
Boy.
Nando able to take the lead. An unfortunate series of events for Southern Miss.
I'm not 100% sure what Melodic is doing, but the fault lays with them regardless. Comes off of the side right here and plays net instead of ball. This is pre-jump territory, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but you jump off a wall and get this interrupted instead of just giving up a shot opportunity and a chance for this ball to go to some place that you simply cannot block it from.
Yeah, it was just a really awkward rotation, and it is going to cost them that tied game. Astro, though, trying to get this back. Melodic, maybe with the rebound on the double, maybe a shot coming out, top right, almost just off the corner. It's an unfortunate shot, but very good placement regardless. Southern Miss now trying to get into their element. 17 seconds left into this match. Looking for something good, maybe a big clear coming out. Melodic has to read it off the ceiling. Might be a shot, but it's going to be too far right. Maybe the double, almost into the pinch, and Zath,
Wow.
5 seconds left, ties it up.
Caps off into the ring, people. That's a hat trick here from Zath. Assists spread across pretty freaking well for Southern Miss. Grand Canyon University has gotten a lot done right here, but now a lead squandered again. Only a lead of 1, I suppose. So 5 seconds we go. We might be seeing overtime in game numero uno.
Time, maybe a little bit of something here. Oh, maybe a lot of something. Is this going to bounce up? No,
There you
it's
go.
not, unfortunately. 3-3 overtime in game 1. Immediately starting off with a banger of a match. This might be a kickoff goal, but Super Big Steve doesn't get the flip that he needed. Unfortunate, but you're still in the game. It's just one missed kickoff. It really doesn't matter too much, hopefully, for GCU. Hopefully my words don't come back to haunt me there, but Zath now up on the possession, trying to take the 50 with Nando. A clear for Astro on the side wall. Should have a bit of possession. It's going to be Froppy with the shutdown. Demo coming out from Nando, getting Melodic off the field right there. Almost a pinch in Froppy. Just taking a bit of time right here. Maybe a pass to the mid. A bit of an odd coming out. A pack pass from Super Big Steve. No one's ready. This is, in theory, an open net. Froppy should be back, but going to be a bit awkward. A good save coming out from GCU.
Yeah, a great read there from Froppy to realize that this bad situation was about to get worse. Don't play ball possession, just get back into your net, because this is a defensive stance that you have to assume immediately. Transition of defense into offense, not an open net as Nando comes back for the hero save yet again.
Big Steve, a pass to Nando, going to be center, but Astro going to be able to get the good catch. It's not going to be fast enough. Melodic passing that right. Nando up to 50. A good dunk coming out from Melodic. Maybe a pinch to the corner. Midfield, Nando's still lingering there over Astro. Light touch, maybe not exactly what he needed right here. It should be a clear out for Melodic anyways, but they are going to have a bit harder time to work with the space that they do, but a good beat in the middle. Nando, shot opportunity might be open. Froppy double tap, maybe? Almost. Nando tries to get that rebound, but isn't able to put it in.
Great defense there from GCU. Follows this one up with a situation they're just going way too fast for Froppy. Would have been a little bit slower, would have had control over the car and maybe a little bit more, but in overtime we are still looking at, and about 2 minutes in, ball is up and nobody bites inside. Last player up, and it's just too high yet again.
Just a bit of a misread from both of the teams, which does happen in Rocket League. Everyone makes mistakes, and it looks like they made it. At the same time, there definitely was an open net opportunity there, and I believe the top left, if I'm remembering correctly. But either way, both teams still in this overtime. 2 minutes, a pretty sizable overtime, all things considered. Astro on the 50, going to try to pass this back. It's going to be Melodic, though, now. Up in the air, on the possession, gets it over Froppy. It's going to be Nando. Putting that back to his backboard, a pass to Super Big Steve, and a good clear Froppy. Up in the air, beat by Zath immediately back into the corner of Southern Miss. Gets a beat from Melodic. Zath trying to keep this on their side, racing to the corner, just trying to hit it away from Froppy. Froppy gets that final hit to Super Big Steve. Now on a clear offensive for GCU right now. Another 50 Melodic trying to find anything. This might be a good shot, but it's going to be off the back.
Yeah, so some awesome pressure, unfortunately, yields not very much. 3 minutes of overtime we go. We have more than half of an extra Rocket League game that has expired just here in overtime, people. We were prefacing just how even-handed these two teams might be. Up and down! How did Melodic even find this angle?
What was that? Just off the ceiling, instantly reads that. Hits it high, sees it low, hits it with the sidewall. Oh my goodness, you can't ask for a better goal than that to end the overtime. Southern Miss taking game one. Oh my goodness, that was such a beautiful shot. I am in awe right now, Tugboat.
Wow, yeah, so Nando with 2 right there, but that's not going to hold a candle to the hat trick from Zath. Froppy finding their own one as well, and correct me if I'm wrong, yeah, every single one of these goals in game number 1 is going to be assisted by a teammate as well. This tells me that these are 2 high-strung teams that are firing on all cylinders and really, really matching up to each other in terms of pressure and consistency.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 3-minute overtime. Those teams are definitely close in terms of their abilities and in terms of their chemistry as a team, you know? And I think it was just really awesome to see how well both of these teams were responding to each other. It was a back and forth game for this game 1, you know? They felt comfortable in their own play style, but they were still able to get a bit creative, think out of the box, right? In terms of their offensive capabilities. And you saw that, especially with that goal from Melodic, right? To take that game overtime, just seeing the double tap opportunity, just instantly going for that. That's the confidence that's going to win you these games.
Exactly. And like, you cannot go in with split decisions on the mind. I've said it earlier, I'll say it again. You come in, you wait to make a decision. That decision will make you. That is not the situation we saw here in game number 1. Both of these teams were fully ready to pull the trigger on every single play. And this was a back end, like kind of a carousel situation. Round and round we go. Where do we stop? I do not know. This happened to be Grand Canyon University losing in game number 1. Southern Miss taking it a 4-3 record. A decently high-scoring affair in game number 1. Fiat?
Pretty decent high-scoring affair. You know, 3 games are always sometimes a bit slower paced just because of how many people are on the field and how many people are in a rotation. So you won't see, it's not going to be like a 7-1, 8-1 blowout like you'll see in a lot of 1s games. It's going to be a bit closer, and that happens with a lot of 3s games. Again, you know, and Nando now trying to find some sort of possession here off the kickoff. Immediately starts the game. Melodic feeling himself, maybe a flip reset dunk. Oh, Mo is looking spicy. Hasn't lost that confidence just yet.
Yeah, it looks like it might have even been 2 of them or something like that. Melodic put on a clinic at the very last part, some aerial acrobatics to really set on a show. Trying to get that going here in game number 2 is again trusting the teammate as Astro now brings this one out. Off the wall is Nando. Nando trying to get it to their teammate, but even with Southern Miss redirecting it, that was almost a really bad position for Froppy. Nando, cue the Jaws music, just bit in at that one as soon as he smelled blood in the water.
50 going to go back into the corner of Southern Miss. Nando up early, maybe a pinch down center. It's going to bounce a bit high. Zath, good catch into the air. Froppy has to go for that 50. It's back to Astro now. Nando, instant challenge, 0 boost. Going to be Super Big Steve back in his own corner. Gets that full back left. Should have a bit of a possession. An awkward touch, though, coming out from Melodic. This is going to make it harder for GCU. Maybe a shot on net. Oh, my goodness. They're getting saucy up in here right now. Southern Miss looking like they're for that first goal right now. Nando in the corner trying to put it back on their side, but it's looking so hard right now to convert, and that's a beautiful save from Astro.
Yeah, and Astro getting involved, but now, yeah, there's not another player back right here, and the writing is on the wall. Nando scores yet again, 2 in the first, now the only in the second right here. It is kind of clear-cut. Melodic now is the offensive powerhouse of Southern Miss. We've really seen them take multiple offensive possessions thus far and try and make that thing work, but game 1 was Zath. And over here for GCU, that is Nando, Nando, and Nando. Here's another Nando, second shot, second goal for Nando.
That's just a fun name to say, Nando, right? And you're going to see a lot of him in this series. He's one of those high-pressure players. He likes to ramp up that momentum super quickly, put a lot of pressure onto defenses in 2-0 right now for GCU. Looking like they're living up to that title. Nando up on the backboard, tries to get it around one. A good patience from Zath up there onto the backboard now. A hit. Super Big Steve. Great little pinch, actually. Going to be a pass to Nando over Melodic. Going to put Southern Miss back on their side. Going to need to go back to the drawing board to score this one. A pinch up high over Melodic. This is going to be awkward. Maybe the dunk from Nando. That was too close for comfort for Southern Miss.
Yeah, definitely was. Close, fast, in your face. That's been the game that Nando has been playing. This is a little bit too far on the back pass, if Froppy still is able to get a handle on top of it. Is not able to stop Southern Miss from getting into the offensive scoring position, and Astro makes that thing sing.
I think this was an own goal, if I'm correct. The ball had a blue trail. He gets a 50. Nando's there. Tries to fake one out. It's going to be Froppy instantly shooting. He tries to go for the 50. The fake, though, just leaves that net open. No one's really going to be able to expect that. 2-1. Southern Miss game is still close. It might be able to take this game to in this series exactly what they want. That wants this goal, but it's not going to be scoreable off the backboard here from GCU.
A technical own goal is going to constitute that, but also was kind of push into it and in the pursuit of defense. So we won't crucify too much here. Shot in the corner. Oh, that is the result of just a really bad luck, right? Look at how this ball goes once it actually comes inside. Super Big Steve goes exactly where he needs to, but that's just a perfect angle. If he'd been angled any farther out towards the outside, we'd still be playing this one at a 2-1 scoreline advantage GCU.
It's genuinely such a perfect shot.
Terrible luck, dude.
Right there. Yeah, terrible luck.
Oh, sorry. I should say you're 100% right. That was slotted perfectly. Super Big Steve puts himself exactly where he needs to be, and it's just terrible luck that even though he's there, just the angle at which he's turning at the time, right?
Yeah, it's just not a physically possible save realistically for GCU there, because you're back post, you're in the right position, but such a weird speed. Now Super Big Steve trying to get the score. Zath instant here off his own backboard. Froppy, good 50. Super Big Steve trying to pass this mid. They're getting a bit more aggressive right now, a bit creative. You like to see them get out of the box. Zath wants to put this in the box, almost in the net. That's going to be a bit too far right. Nando able to take the possession. Melodic. Instant challenge redirect back to the midfield. Not exactly what he was looking for, but it should work out fine because Astro's on that backboard. Good clear. Southern Miss now with a bit of pressure.
And now pop play up. Members of Southern Miss have had some problems just getting the centered net and trying to swing for the fences on it, but now a little bit of back and forth. Super Big Steve gets hit. Last player back is Zath. It's an epic save. Definitely deserves it as a double tap goes the way of the ground. Now a little pinch, I believe. Are they going to be able to... Yeah, okay. Nando definitely be able to get to this. I don't think that was on point anyway.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was off the right. Off the right bar right there. Nando did still need to make that touch, though, in order to keep that. If he doesn't make that touch, he's probably going to get instant challenge by that first man trying to push for pressure from Southern Miss. But he gets the touch anyway. Now Super Big Steve with a good first touch onto the backboard. Almost shut down by Melodic. Flopping in the corner. Maybe a pass to the mid. It's going to be Astro on the rebound on the defensive. Super Big Steve, beautiful dunk, almost on Melodic. Last second touch to send that out. Southern Miss should have a good opportunity. Passes that mid for Astro. Astro maybe with the shot. It's going to be too high. Nando clear back to the left side. Southern Miss still hanging on.
Just picking up boost times here from Melodic, but a lot of pressure against their squad. 2-2. This is a similar situation that we just saw. GCU up early. A lead, unfortunately, slowly squandered, and now overtime doth loom.
Second overtime, possibly. That's kind of crazy. You don't really see that much in series back-to-back overtime. Oh, I was about to eat my words right there. A good shot from Astro, saved well by GCU. Nando trying to put this ball down. He doesn't like that it's on the blue side right now. Southern Miss, they're comfortable with this, though. That's comfortable with this ball. Flip reset, maybe on the net. It's going to be a bit too far. Astro maybe redirect almost. I thought that we were looking at Astro. I thought that was someone from GCU, the way he was positioning right there.
Now, oh, the fake off a kickoff, but a well-read defensive block here for the side of Southern Miss. This is going to be up right here. Looking for a double tap. Froppy definitely going to read this one out and makes that one a non-issue. Double demo here for Zath.
Hit Zath up in the air, maybe a double tap, maybe a shot opportunity. It is bottom right. Astro reads that defense well. Nothing like the game 1 overtime. 25 seconds, able to clean it up. That's perfect for Southern Miss right here.
Yeah, what, there was like 3 minutes plus on the overtime situation. Game number 1. Astro shows up into the scoring factors in major ways here for Southern Miss. Gets one in regular time and one to close this one out in overtime. Nando, Astro, there you go. So it was like a lot of Zath in game number 1. Melodic kind of taking over those duties at times. Now is Astro all day long. Game number 2, 5 total shots, more than both of his teammates combined right there. 9 total for the squad though.
Yeah, I mean, it was still one of those close games though for GCU. They shouldn't be that discouraged. They got those 2 goals immediately off that response. You know, that is a really hard strategy to implement into a lot of games. So them being able to really react off the kickoff perfectly is really doing them a lot of wonders, really keeping them in this game. But we have to talk about Southern Miss here in terms of what they're doing right now on offense. Like they're looking good. They're looking solid, right? Like it's kind of hard to figure out what they're going to do next, and that's exactly what you want. You want that elusive nature to your offense. Southern Miss has that down almost to a T.
Yeah, folks, these are 2 very evenly matched squads. Obviously, that is indicative of the 2 overtime situation, not just the 1 score differences, but the overtime type situations. But the thing that is like a little bit confusing here is that GCU is like not really changing their game plan up very much, like from like the start of these games to the end, even overtimes notwithstanding. They're playing their same game. It is gaining them value early. And then again, over the 5-minute period, that's just slowly drained away in a battle of attrition that Southern Miss has now won twice. Match point just like that. It may not seem like it, but yeah, Southern Miss is up 2-0.
Southern Miss now with the pressure on the offense, going to hit straight down. Super Big Steve, a bit of a light touch, but it works out anyway for GCU. Oh, a bit of a whiff there. That's going to be able to take advantage. Maybe a shot. Ooh, that was honestly a pretty good try. Trying to go for that pick, not looking very readable, although GCU's defense is starting to come back into the play. Nando tries to get that redirect, but it's going to be open. As soon as I say that, I really just need to stop saying these kinds of things. Zath with the first score for Southern Miss.
Nicely done. Zath really showed what they can do in game numero 1. That was the hat trick right there. Now showing up in game 3. And arguably it matters most. Zath was devoid from the scoring part, obviously, assists, different story, but devoid from the scoring participation in game number 2. To see them getting back onto the board. 45 seconds into this one and off of kickoff. And this is just really weird. No players touched this more than twice with their team retaining possession. And now Froppy sends this one way higher than even a second net would have gotten into. Okay, an open net situation squandered, possession just passed back and forth like a hot potato. And look at this, there's not even a GCU member on that side of the pitch. They're just like sending it over and like, Red Rover, send this ball right over, now what you can do with it. Like, I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, for GCU, it just doesn't seem like they're really playing the team that they need to. They're kind of just a bit too focused on their own mistakes to really figure out what Southern Miss is doing. Beat them here, and now there's that demo, there's that open space. This should be a shot opportunity, and it is. GCU able to convert. You needed something right there, and you found it with those demos. Nando, again, that aggressive plays are going to work out very well for GCU here. They got to start sticking to that.
I think Southern Miss can be happy that you cannot get scored on twice within the same goal, and you can only get 1 point at a time because they needed this reset right here. That was some of the most uncoordinated we've seen them today, and probably even this season for Southern Miss in a situation where they're trying to improve above 500. Another double commit on the defense, whereas they should be running down the field with the ball on the other side. Super Big Steve's now playing something off the wall, and now they're forced to 50s.
Zath off the backboard, a good 50. This is going to be back on the backboard again. Nando up in the air, though, with a little bit of possession. Gets bumped, though. It's going to be Zath here. Super Big Steve has the opportunity. Nando should put this in, but it's 50. Great save from Zath reading the play. Doesn't go for that instant save. He waits a little bit, tries to bait Nando out, and is able to get a masterful clear relief. Some of that pressure that Southern Miss is feeling.
100% agreed. 100% agreed. 15 seconds outside of halftime. This has been tied more often than not in our regular times outside of overtimes. Back pass attempted here for Grand Canyon University, and then once again they put it over here, and everybody else is on that side of the squad. Excuse me. Super Big Steve has a fantastic opportunity up front and turns this one into gold. Yeah. Okay. So Southern Miss. Gotta say, this is a terrible situation of just putting it against the wall and just kind of eating up time. If this was like way slower, then I could see like this being like a buy time type of hit, but this is a kickoff goal that now goes an overtime situation, going back the other way, and then again, Zath gets 2 honest shots and misses both.
This is an awkward game for both of these teams.
This is a
right
weird
now.
game, dude.
Yeah.
This is a weird game.
Because like it's like no one is like, it feels like we just went back to game 1 where they have not played each other at all, and now they're just like testing the limits, you know, just trying to figure out what's going on. It's just like you just won 2 games. Like you should be able to get something here though. Southern Miss though looking a bit back onto the offense. GCU though has this possession. It's going to be Melodic onto the right wall. Needed a bit of a double. It's going to be Nando now off the backboard. Super Big Steve leaves that for an open net for Farapi. Southern Miss kind of crumbling right here. They were strong backboard defense, and now it's just gone.
Yeah, a communication, coordination, something is going wrong over there at Southern Miss, and that has been on display across 2 goals now here for the run for Grand Canyon University, not just from the tie, but to take the lead. Now a insurance goal purchase. This is the largest lead we have seen since game number 1, a game that went to almost 9 total minutes there with overtime included.
Tries to get the hit. It's going to be beat by Melodic. Melodic leaving Nando in a bit of a 2v1. He gets under Froppy.
Okay.
Last second comes in. That was a good play coming out from Southern Miss. They're starting to feel themselves just again past mid to no one. It's going to be a 50 with Astro. Astro trying to push this back onto GCU. Melodic. Good 50 in his own corner. Going to try to hit this left over one. Maybe Nando has to take the 50 with him, though. Astro full boost gets beat by Nando instantly. Going to be in the corner. Super Big Steve looking for the redirect. Not able to find much. Southern Miss now has a bit of time, bit of space right here. Astro should be able to take this in the corner. Maybe a shot, but a 50 inches straight out to the midfield.
And what the hero of game number 2, Astro, right there, just trying to wait in the wings and look for something. This is another shot. Grand Canyon University up by 3. I'm going to say this is an insurmountable lead right now. Froppy with their 3rd. Is that what I'm reading?
I believe Froppy is, I'm not 100% sure if Froppy is third at the moment, but
Like, that's his 3rd goal, I believe.
oh, it's his 3rd goal. I thought you meant like 3rd on the scoreboard. I'm like, no, he's been doing some stuff.
No.
But 3rd goal, I think he might be right there. GCU.
Yeah, 3 goals, 3. Wow, 3 shots, 3 goals. My goodness, shooting 100 right now. But hey, Melodic, I was about to say, if you're talking about shots attempted and goals and whatnot, Melodic only with second shot attempted right here. That's going to be good enough to buy a little bit of wiggle room for Southern Miss. Like at this point, if you're down by 3, it's literally just pour everything into offense. But 42 seconds is plenty of time to play with on 2 goals.
Yeah, 42 seconds. You should have some time here, but you are going to need a bit of a change of pace in terms of your offensive ability. You see, it's just like kind of stalling out on the GCU side whenever they have the offense. GCU just playing that rotation pretty properly. A bit of a backflip from Super Steve. Nothing that Nando can't handle. Gets bumped though onto the sidewall. Going to give Zach a lot of time. Super Big Steve, instant challenge, looking confident. 17 seconds left. Fake coming out from Melodic. Might be a pitch high. Needs the bump from Nando. Nando, though, able to keep possession, and that should be the dagger for Southern Miss. Not in the series, but at least for this game. 4-2 for GCU off of game 3 is going to be a good possession. Close save. Almost changing that to 4-3. Nando, Super Big Steve just messing around, and this is a win for GCU, no matter how you're going to cut it.
Yeah, and the first time we don't see an overtime in this series so far. It continually, even series continues as of right now. Ball still technically held aloft. There you go. Can't get 2 of them in a single overtime situation, though. As GCU takes their first, we see a call for Eastern servers. So we're gonna try and we're gonna try and honor that. Even if we have a short break ahead of us, though. Before we get there, though, Southern Miss was just kind of missing Melodic, honestly, in game number 3. Just the simple fact that they showed us what a threat and what danger they can be, and then Melodic just didn't possess the ball very much there in game number 3. Only one of their 2 goals here for Southern Miss, and I don't think they even cracked like 7 total shots attempted on 2 goals, period. And these are not kind of sustainable numbers if you're talking about taking a W across the series.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like when one of those players is peaking so hard like Melodic, you know, just playing super well, a lot of the team can sometimes get complacent and they just won't play as aggressive. They'll just assume, okay, yeah, Melodic has possession, Melodic knows what he's doing, I can just play behind him, when in reality, it needs to still be that team effort. Yeah, you have a player who's playing super well, but you need to keep up with them, right? If you're the weakest link in the team, that's could be the breaking point for that game, and it feels like that's kind of what happened with Southern Miss. They just kind of relied too much on that one person, kind of miracle play, right? And you can't, with a team like GCU, right, like who've been around for a while in the Rocket League scene, they're gonna know how to stop that pretty easily, right? Regardless of how they've done previously in the series, they're gonna do well, definitely, against those types of situations.
Now, I very much agree with you in here. How these two teams are going to handle situations is really going to be the defining factor in this series. Speaking of a defining factor in series and everything else right there, I always hate to put too much emphasis on ping and stuff like that, but a ping difference I'm being reported of 70 here for the Eastern Coast team for Southern Miss, and 10 for Grand Canyon University, now going to be flipped. We play our games over on Western servers. Now we're going to see a Grand Canyon University squad who's going to have to win who's going to have to win out here 2 more in a row, while playing on Eastern servers. Southern Miss going to have the advantage right there, so they're going to have to do it not once but twice here against Southern Miss. We'll see how this one shakes out after the lead has been gained for Southern Miss, but a factor now scored back for the side of Grand Canyon University.
And it's possible that changing those servers, as soon as I say that, GCU still scores.
Okay.
Changing those servers for Southern Miss might not be that important. They are in the central part of the United States right now, so they're going to be looking on those servers, Dallas, central U.S. And it looks like GCU, though, doesn't really mind that ping difference. Able to get that first goal immediately, less than 50 seconds into this. Kickoff going into the sidewall left. Super Big Steve able to take that possession up in the air, trying to get that over one. A little bit of a flick, not able to get past Zath, and now it's Melodic on his own possession. Can we see a bit more of a pop-off?
Okay.
Roppy shutting that down instantly.
Yeah, a great job of watching this unfold. This is exactly the situation that Grand Canyon University held Melodic to in the last game here, in game number 3. Recreating this situation is what is going to pay the bills.
Now Zath trying to get 50. It's going to be low. Froppy keeping that all alive for Southern Miss just a little bit. That stalls out to the left. Now Melodic, maybe the double tap, maybe the dunk. That's super close. Still feeling it, though. Still feeling that confidence. Exactly what you want to see, even after losing that first match against GCU. Zath on the air with 50. It's going to have to be Astro, though, to take this onto the other side. Gets 58 as well, instantly to the sidewall. Melodic, a little bit of possession, a bit of an awkward touch. Tried to go for the musty, but was just not in the right position for it. Still in the corner, now trying to be moved towards Southern Miss side. On the sidewall, it might be Melodic trying to go for the flip reset, maybe over one, almost dunked into the corner. Nando, last second save, pinches it off his own crossbar. That's going to be towards the net again, but shouldn't be on. They might have a bit of time. Nando, that's a really great 50, actually, just hitting that high, taking that possession, taking the high hit, make this a bit awkward for Southern Miss to really do much. Now that 50, Zath trying to get this center, might be a shot, rolling up the wall. Nando's going to take it.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. Speaking of Nando, this is not quite on point, but Astro reads it regardless, gets the award for the save. 2 minutes into this one, what is possibly the lowest scoring affair being cooked up right now here in game number 4. Southern Miss needs 2 of them to come back and close this series out. Grand Canyon would be happy to end it right here.
The Big Steve with the redirect. Zath, beautiful read, but it wasn't enough. Nando able to put in that second goal for GCU. A beautiful little play coming out from GCU. Seeing all those members of the team getting involved with that offensive play, exactly what you want to see. Get a bit creative, get a bit risky.
Yep.
You know, I mean, you
exactly.
are still down in this series, so might as well just go for it, right?
Yeah, just throw it against the wall and see what happens, but it's also a factor of kind of playing what is comforting to you and what you're experienced with up to that point. So far, that is working out for Grand Canyon University halftime now, I would be surprised, but we're staring down the barrel of what is possibly our first shutdown type situation in quite a while. Since the very first University of Michigan game against St. Clair Saints, that was a 6-0 in their first game of that series.
That was a close little redirect coming out from GCU. They're still looking good on that offense. They've definitely changed something, trying to get all 3 men involved in the play. Froppy, a bit of a miss, but a miss from Southern Miss as well. Gonna give them a bit of time right here. Zath in his own corner, now trying to get that pinch to the midfield. It's gonna be Froppy, though, with the instant response on his own side. Demo's coming out from Melodic. Melodic just going for everyone right now. Super Big Steve, last one on the field, should be respawns, though, hopefully off the backboard. This might be a good shot opportunity. Oh my goodness, a beautiful save coming out from Super Big Steve, and almost in for Southern Miss.
I read it like a book, like the author, checked it out from the library. Chapter A Night for Bed. That was almost perfect right there. Everything came together for Southern Miss until the defense had something to say about it. 90 seconds to go, 2 scores down. Gotta be feeling like the effects of a 2-score lead that was squandered, especially now that they're 2-0 down in game number 4.
1:13 left on the clock. Definitely still possible for Southern Miss, but the way right now that they're looking on those clears in the midfield, it might not be as possible as you think. Nando, a little bit of a double commit coming out from GCU, and Southern Miss capitalized upon that mistake. A pinch, or a little bit of a redirect, I mean, towards the middle, but that second man's too far back to really sustain that offense. Froppy has a good, decent clear, gonna sustain it. Maybe a double, maybe Super Big Steve coming in for the shot. He wasn't able to put it on net, but the pressure is mounting here on the Southern Miss side.
Speaking of, Froppy interrupting the hopes and dreams. That's going to be the third, what is probably the nail in the coffin of this game number 4.
I mean, it's a hard position to be in, right? Nando just has that open net, and Southern Miss, I feel like they're kind of losing grasp of the gas, right? They're laying their foot off the gas. They're not playing that aggressive second man that you saw before, where Melodic would just come in off of a rebound and just take a shot, almost another one. Super Big Steve able to put in the 4th to end this game 4 for them, or at least basically end it. They do have 29 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds, 4 scores. I don't want to give false hope here, people, especially the way the GCU has been playing shutdown offense thus far. If you're Southern Miss, give it your all, but you need to take that time in between, just mentally reset.
I don't want to curse them yet, right? But GCU, they still have not found a series win yet. Hopefully, they'll be able to figure out how to turn this into their first series win here. NECC, and a shot coming out from Southern Miss. 12 seconds left. Maybe something? Maybe some kickoff stuff? I have no idea.
The 3 score, or score every 4 seconds.
Yeah.
Again, that would have to require GCU to put the controllers down, and that's just for a
watch
tie.
this, though. Watch this, Tugboat. Kickoff, right? They're going to fake it to the back left, right? Oh, nope.
That's enough time that's burned off. This game is effectively over. A great job from Southern Miss. This is more of like a mentality kind of thing. I can't really call it momentum, but at least mentality. A really nice second shot right there from Melodic, but they don't put up a goose egg, and that's the name of the game.
Exactly right. I mean, GCU still coming back on their way, back into the series, exactly what they've done in a lot of these matches, even on the mainstream. A lot of their losses, even though they haven't found that series win yet with NECC, they're still trying to look, they're still a solid team, and they're still trying to figure out some things, but overall, they do have a good grasp of this game, and they do have a good grasp of what makes them a strong team.
Yeah, and they really just need to go back to that right here. Grand Canyon University is in their bag right now, and Southern Miss is absolutely on the run. A fantastic last shot there from Melodic. It shows a little bit of life. The one on the scoreboard instead of the goose egg. Turn that goose egg into a breadstick right here. Donut into a breadstick, excuse me. It is certainly like a little bit of light and a lot of darkness right here, but this Game 5 is really going to shake out to determine which of these two teams honestly want it more. Again, this is first actual regular season match win here for on the board possibly, for Grand Canyon University, and actually improving to 4-3 above 500 for Southern Miss. So again, who wants it more? We'll find out in a 5-minute Rocket League game.
Yep, it's going to be a good matchup, right? I mean, overall, GCU, they're climbing back, but the reverse sweep is always so hard to pull off. And now GCU in this game number 5, or at least I believe it's game number 5, 4:56 left.
It is.
And a flip reset into the middle of the field, almost a redirect miss from both sides. Zath able to take that up into the air, trying to keep this close. It's going to be Super Big Steve pounding that in. It rolls up the wall. Melodic able to take that possession. Floppy now Getting that back to the right wall, and it's going to be Nando possibly with the score now. A good opportunity for Southern Miss, turning this around instantly. Exactly what you want to see, those fast counterattacks. That's going to be how you're going to beat GCU here. Shut out that reverse sweep. This could be an open net. No one's going to be back. Melodic comes for that challenge to the midfield and hits it. Still 0-0 on the clock.
There you go. Until Melodic picked up this big boost, I don't think anybody on this board had more than like 20 or 30 boosts because everybody burned everything to try and get what looked like a great scoring position for Southern Miss. As it is, a little bit of effort the other way, and man, oh man, Melodic goes for a demo instead of covering net right here.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's a really crazy play.
Oh no, excuse me, I said that backwards right here. Yeah, so defender gets destroyed. That was a fantastic play for Melodic. I'm so sorry. I said that completely backwards. Just got my colors mixed up.
Man, I thought you said that correctly. I thought he put that on net as well. That was a close shot from GCU coming out right there. Almost pinning off the kickoff. That has been their strength this series. It's really playing off of the kickoff rebound. That's kind of been how they've been operating their offense, but it's not going to help on the defense much. Astro, light touch, puts in the floater into the net. Melodic, good pass to the mid, and Astro's just up. I don't think he expected to hit it that way, but no one else on GCU did either. 2-0 for Southern Miss.
Insurance goal purchased here from Southern Miss. They got the policy going early. 4 different players gotta just put this up in the middle, and everybody whips at it. But this is the worst possible situation here for Grand Canyon University. They did do essentially what they were doing in previous games that found them lots of advantage and stuff. But now Southern Miss is just passing this ball around and putting point after point after point on the board.
You know what? I'll be honest. I had a lot of faith in GCU. They came back and started playing super well, but now with 3-0 against Southern Miss, with barely a minute 30 off the clock, this is looking tough for GCU, and it feels like even though they're doing everything right, sometimes they will just lose. But that's almost a shot on net. Gonna be a bit too high. Astro with the save from Southern Miss, now back on the immediate offense. A fake coming out!
Oh my god!
Oh my goodness! It's always Melodic time right here, singing with the ball, right? And now a fake musty into the ground pitch under. Oh my goodness! Oh, I don't.
Dude, nobody wants to get mustied, and Melodic literally just used that fear of like you getting the clip made of you to go forth and really sell this fake, put the 4th on the board. We were talking like 30 seconds last time about nails and coffin. That conversation could be had right now after we are witnessing a very unfortunate just collapse of GCU. On both sides of the ball, yes, but more so on offense, and there's on defense.
Yeah.
4th shot, 3rd goal, Astro.
I don't think this game is winnable after that one. Super Big Steve is in an awkward position, tries to get the hit mid. Hondo really didn't read that. He was kind of hoping either for a full loss from Super Big Steve or something going forward, and it was really neither. So GCU now trying to figure out what they can do to bring back this game, but a 5-0 lead from Southern Miss. They never let those first 2 games get to them. They're still playing strong.
Fantastic second jump there for Zath as the pressure continues for Southern Miss against Grand Canyon University. Almost gets this one past. A little half flip here from Zath to at least challenge the defender and make him really earn that possession. As it is, this is, yeah, my goodness, the continued offensive pressure right here. Southern Miss players just simply first the ball every single time. They might take it out and then just immediate answer, flip, reset. That's going to be just a little bit out to the outside on that one. No real danger, doesn't mean it didn't look good.
This Melodic guy is honestly kind of cracked. I'm not gonna lie. Like, some of these plays that he's going for are just real. They're just like, they're good. Like, they're good attempts, especially like on the foot resets, on that fake musty, especially. Oh, that was a beautiful goal. Super Big Steve, though, making this a bit of a different game than what we expected. 1 goal for GCU.
Yeah, so this is going to be no shutdowns, no absolute sweeps. Now, a 4-score difference is rather large. Like I always like to say, whatever the scoreline is coming into halftime, it was 5-0, can be undone in the second half. Well, is that the first step here for GCU, or is this just going to be the slow crawl to despair, destruction, and another match loss? This squad out of Colorado.
GCU is in Arizona, Grand Canyon University.
Oh, no way.
But
As I was saying that, dude, yep, they sure are. Phoenix, Arizona. Hate to see it.
I was just like, surely he's
said
gonna
it-
say Arizona.
Like, as
and
I was
he's-
saying out loud, I was like, hang on.
I was like, he's surely gonna say it is Arizona. Then he said Colorado. I was like, oh no, I don't want to. Should I
Oh,
just?
no.
Oh no.
Oh, no. Hey, when you're right, bud.
It happened. It happens to the best of us, you know. And GCU, they might as well back up to Colorado after this one. They got to learn how to play a bit faster in the air. It looks like they're getting shut down, especially a lot on their aerial attacks. They do have a stronger ground game. You really look at it, but it's just like it's really hard to convert into like those offensive pressure situations when you're in GCU's type of situation, right? You're down 4 goals. Southern Miss is just going to insta-challenge you every time. Boost starve you, and then just not let you have time on the ball. And that's exactly the strategy they need. There's that 6th goal, exactly, almost saved Froppy, I believe. Or was it Froppy? I'm pretty sure. No, Froppy is the one who got demoed. Yeah, that makes more sense. Almost saved anyways. 1-6 on the verge of the Brazil. Southern Miss looking like they're going to be cleaning up this game.
Yeah, 45 seconds to go. Again, Herculean efforts required here for GCU to bring this one back. Decent little start. That's going to hit the defender, but Zath is going to be able to avoid any kind of collision, get in position, and defend this one away. We are officially in garbage time. Goal every 5 seconds ain't going to happen for Grand Canyon University, unfortunately. Outside of the craziest Rocket League we've ever seen. Waste time situations here for Southern Miss as the pinch play against the bottom, and the 7th here coming for Southern Miss.
There's the Brazil shutting it out, and this game is going to be impossible to win, as you said, for GCU. And it's just so hard to pinpoint exactly
80
what
miles
went
an hour.
wrong.
Good God.
80 miles, really? Wow, that was crazy.
80 miles an hour. That's what it said down bottom off the redirect.
That's insane, honestly. But GCU, it's hard to pinpoint what really went wrong with this team. It looks like they were playing the good fundamentals, but Southern Miss just like came back and said, "Oh yeah, we're Southern Miss. We can just like go for crazy plays and just score them." And I don't know. It's hard because this is GCU's now 6th loss in NECC, and that's just it's so tough for a team, regardless of any caliber, to just go through such a rough season like that.
100% agreed. 100% agreed. They've definitely taken plenty of maps off. They've only been swept once, and that was against Maryville, a situation that this other squad, Southern Miss, also faced. In fact, if we boil it down to sweeps, Southern Miss actually has more 0-3 losses than does the Grand Canyon University squad out of Arizona. That's Phoenix, Arizona. So just kind of like really interesting dynamics here when it comes to overall scoring. But regardless, unfortunately, another loss here for Grand Canyon University, even though it is in 5 games.
Yeah, it was a good series from both of those teams, and GCU, they played good. I think it's important to state that their fundamentals, especially in the mid-series, were very, very solid, and they put a lot of pressure on Southern Miss that they weren't expecting. Southern Miss got that shutdown. You know, they were struggling with trying to get out of that idea of like just the solo plays, right? And really incorporate team plays. And GCU was able to shut that down pretty well, able to shut down Melodic for the most part, except for towards the end. And still on the reverse sweep, you know, it was a good try and a good effort from GCU coming out here.
A fantastic point. Fantastic point. Grand Canyon University puts up some real solid efforts, but unfortunately comes up short on this one. Coming up next, though, New Mexico State University, and I didn't quite catch the second name there. Fiat, you got that? Northern Arizona. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hey,
Northern Arizona coming in here in just a little bit. Short break, guys. Very short break, as we are a little bit behind schedule. We'll get this one set up for you in just a second. Hello and welcome back. The National Esports Collegiate Conference continues now. We've had, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches, 6 planned, 5 matches actually performed, played, whatever you want to call it here on the day. FBI Tugboat here, man, Fiat. Fiat, we are looking at Northern Arizona University and then some other random college, right?
You're so mean. You are so mean. New Mexico State is one of the biggest colleges in New Mexico, okay? And
I'm saying that, of course, because I'm busting Fiat's chops here. Obviously, a student of Northern Mexico University, correct?
Yes, I am. I'm in the dorms right now. It's a nice little campus over here, nice little university, and we got a great esports program with one of the best Rocket League teams we have in the state, NMSU, in the Champions West division right now. Going to be Grand Modulo Pizro, my boys, my goats. I want to see them get a win on the mainstream. I don't think they have gotten it this season yet. I don't believe so.
Okay. We'll take a look at previous scores on the day, and obviously preface this game a little bit more. Honestly, guys, we have been granted some really good games on the day. Myself, Monkey Man, started out with excuse me, the West Point Black Knights. That was a 2-3 squad that did improve to a 3-3 playing against SUNY Potsdam over there, the squad out of the state of New York. It was a 3-0, but it was also 3-1, 3-2, 3-1 all the way across from these 3 games, all of them being very close all the way through. No overtimes in that one, though. Followed up with a couple of 3-2 games here as well. I'm really hoping that this Champs West A Division squad, matchup here, is going to be another barn burner.
Yeah, the champions, the West A Division, we've seen a few games from them on the mainstream, and it has been close, cutthroat for almost all of these teams. They're very evenly matched in terms of their skill level, so every single match that you're watching here with these guys are going to be great. It's going to be a shootout. We got NMSU, we got Grand Pies, Modulo coming in, representing the NMSU, the Aggies down here in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Looking like a good team. Their record right now, I believe, should be, was it 1 or 3?
3-2.
3-2. 3-2. Yes, that's is correct. I can read. I promise everyone. Going against Northern Arizona University, a bit of a rivalry right there. We've seen Northern Arizona before on this stream. Definitely in the NECC before. Chronicle Beast Galaxy is going to be representing the state of Arizona here in today's matchup, our primetime matchup, I would say. And this is going to be a very interesting match. What do you expect to see, Tugboat?
Well, we're looking at a 4-1 squad from Northern Arizona University. Both of these teams really vying, not just for playoff potential, right? New Mexico State University, they lose this, they go 3-3. There's still obviously shots for it. This is mostly, honestly, Fiat, this is mostly for seeding, correct? For postseason positioning and who's going to be getting the quote-unquote easier shots within that postseason tournament. Both of these have good enough records to make it, even if they get a loss here on the day. My only question mark really is that one of the wins for New Mexico State University came from a forfeit, as did one of the losses. So we've just had, we have less data, right? We have less data to go off of here for New Mexico State University, whereas Northern Arizona has played all 5 of their matches and earned all of these, even if 2 of them came from 3-2 victories. One of those against the University of California at Santa Cruz Gold, and one of them coming from Sac State Green last week in week 7, or excuse me, that was March 3rd, so 5 days ago, again, a 3-2 victory right there for Northern Arizona University.
Yeah, definitely. Northern Arizona is a bit more of a proven team in this league so far. You know, they have that 4-1 record. They've had the results, and they're always constantly playing. They're scrimming. They're going for 6-man skews, right? NMSU, though, they have been a bit more in the dark. We've seen a bit more forfeits coming out from them, both in their favor and not in their favor.
Yep.
And really, you haven't seen too much of how this roster is going to perform yet, because it feels like we've seen them on the mainstream about a week or 2 ago, and they looked like they didn't have much chemistry. They looked like their communications were crumbling, you know, and it felt like a lot of double commits coming out from both of these sides. But game 1, NAU versus NMSU, trying to change these archetypes of the teams right now. Can NMSU come back, trying to get into form? A shot coming out from Beast is going to be way far off. Grant should have that possession. Gets 50 immediately by Galaxy's Modulo. It's under him, but it's going to be a pass to the midfield to Grand, 2 up though. Pies, that communication that I was talking about earlier makes this a bit of a stalled out offensive opportunity for the Aggies.
Whoa, that was almost bad there, but Modulo plays the position perfectly, splits the difference, splits this goal right up the middle and covers both sides. A wide shot there. The result for an NAU offense that did not score on that one. 45 seconds, and possession been pretty even-handed so far, even though NAU is now getting one of their first shots attempted onto goal.
On the NAU side, it's going to be Galaxies in the corner taking that 50 with Modulo, sends it right back to the other side. Chronicle now on the possession, up in the air, maybe on the ceiling, getting a bit fancy. It's going to be a bit of a light touch. Beast able to get the response. Maybe a double tap coming in, just a bit too far right. NAU still looking for those goals. It's going to be a bit long before they find one, though.
Now off the wall, Pies playing it perfectly. Big boost in hand, but burns all of it to try and get this one going. That was a solid attempt there from Beast, trying to get a claw out, take that one, and then they're going to follow it up with a demo. Beast getting turned on the offense already.
Oh, Pies trying to get that hit. It's going to be an open net for
There we
Grand.
go.
Good demo coming out from NMSU. Pies instantly just turning for that last man back, seeing it's going to be an open net opportunity. And those bumps, that aggression, again, we've seen that in these series before today, that getting a bit aggressive, getting a bit physical usually pays off.
Pies piles on the offensive pressure and takes the demo right there, sets up the teammate all day long. That's Grand on a goal worth $1,000. Pies pop play over, a little bit of bouncing action as Modulo takes this off of the wall. Finds that a little bit harder said than done, or done than said, I don't know. As 3 minutes we go here, Fiat. This is still pressure for NMSU against Northern Arizona.
Yeah, good pressure is coming out from NMSU. You saw that little touch from Pizer. I was a bit skeptical of when he was off the ceiling, didn't make instant contact, but he actually was playing the slow game there, trying to bait out that defender, something that I wouldn't have seen from that perspective. Obviously, a very great play coming out and a good save, almost shot from Beast right here, coming out for NAU, looking a bit more on that offensive side. Chronicle up in the air, has a bit of a possession off the backboard. Modular, 0 boost clear, gonna have a hard time keeping this up. Gets the mid left, a whiff from Beast, or a little bit of a fake actually. Or so Galaxies to Chronicle, tries to get a shot hard. It's gonna be Beast with a 50 grand, able to get the win.
Slowed down just for a couple of seconds there for New Mexico. Play over, gonna get intercepted immediately from Galaxy, but no real possession afterwards, and actually kind of giving up a little bit of space right there as the shot does come in. That's still centered ability, and Chronicle takes their best honest shot at it, but Arizona is really finding goals hard to come by. New Mexico has had some solid opportunities so far and already made one of them sing.
The NAU, they're looking a bit more scared than you would think they would be going into this matchup. Obviously, game jitters come and affect everybody. Almost a shot on net. Modular's back. But yeah, NAU, they're looking not very confident. Some of these challenges that they have, they're leaving a lot of space open for NMSU to take advantage of, which is why they have this 1-goal lead. Although it is still only 1 goal, NAU does have a chance. Bump coming out from Grand Modular, light touch, another 50 coming out. Good defensive plays, a bit close for comfort, but it should be okay for NMSU now with a bit of pressure. Eyes off the backboard, under beats. It's going to be Galaxies now in the air. Galaxies trying to look for something. Gets bumped by Grand Modulo, saving to his own corner, and a 50 stalled out for Beast.
This is good foresight there from Grand, though. Again, Grand really being the deciding factor in this game one so far. Showing up on offense in the solo go between these two teams so far, and also on the defense, just really recognizing, like, had to get back there in time. And if he'd left the teammate by themselves to get that done, then we're talking about just an easy bump away from a point and a tying factor here for the Arizona squad. Chronicle easily picks this one up after some wonky aerial plays. Does not retain possession. Grand down bottom, hard to get at that angle, and doesn't find themselves able to. 30 seconds to go with a 1-score difference.
A bit of a slow start for both of these teams, honestly. Yeah, the pace is pretty fast right now, but not as fast as it could be. Northern Arizona still trying to figure out what's going to work against this NMSU roster. They're looking like they're defending everything pretty well in terms of NAU's offensive ideas. He's now trying to get the 50, but it's going to be Grand with the beat. Might be a double. It bounces a bit too high. Galaxies 50 in the midfield with Pies. It's going to be Chronicle. Maybe with a shot.
Oh.
Top net. Modulo shutting that down early. I don't believe that was on Pies. Should have a bit of possession, maybe a little bit of a foot reset to put that into the corner. This is going to be hard for NAU to keep up, but the 50 is a good opportunity. Pies rushing back to the backboard, slides down, Beast keeping it up, maybe pass to the middle. Chronicle 2 up from NAU.
Nice.
NMSU comes out with the 1-goal game. Game 1, series up for NMSU.
Nicely done. New Mexico State University playing like a team that is ahead, and wow, okay, so 10 total shots here for Northern Arizona. I knew they controlled possession for the majority of this game, Fiat. I did not anticipate that one. Only one save coming out from them, 3 total shots. The good news is they're spread all the way across this New Mexico squad, and the second good news is that they have the only score of this game, number 1. A close game it was indeed, but Fiat, honestly, 1-0 games are no overtime are hands down my favorite Rocket League game.
Really?
This shows indicative of like a very back and forth game where it's not just like this slugfest where defenses actually come out to play just as much as offenses.
You know, I'm a bit of a traditional Rocket League fan. I love those 0-second goals, you know, when Justin hit that beautiful shot back in Season 5, I was just like, this game is for me. You know, but
There you go.
there is a lot.
That's what hooked you.
There's a lot of credit to the idea. You know, those 1-0 games, that means it's a really close matchup, right? NMSU did keep up that defensive, what's the word I'm looking for, you know, keeping up that momentum
Prowess.
when they were on offense or when they were on defense, and NAU just really couldn't break through. They had so many shots, and NMSU didn't have as many saves to correlate with that.
Yeah, given the massive shot differential, it makes sense for one of these teams just simply have way more saves, but also that's kind of indicative of a lot of the Northern Arizona University's shots just not being worthwhile. 1-on-3 is pretty darn good, no matter whatever you're at, especially if it results, or given that I should say, it results in a win.
Oh, that was almost a shot coming out from NAU. Chronicle tried to put that in, but it was a bit too fast going into the midfield. But now Grand with the shot. Oh my goodness. Back and forth already. This is definitely a close matchup. Now NAU with the shot opportunity. Pies caught out of position right there. Third man's too close. NAU first goal in game 2.
Beast gets the first here for Northern Arizona University and snaps a scoring drought that lasted about 5.5 minutes there for Lumberjack squad. Now the Aggies, we're going to get to see how this New Mexico squad is going to be playing from behind for the first time in this series. It is obviously always easier to play from. Okay, this just got a lot harder.
Híjole, oh my goodness, a beautiful shot coming out from Beast. And get the low double, no one's there. Modulo tries to go that, but if he played that a bit more patient, would have just rolled in front of him. Definitely an odd position to be, though, on defense. NAU keeping a 2-0 lead in this game, too, with not even a minute off the clock.
Yeah, so 5.5 minutes, so no scoring, and then 2 of them in about the space of 20 seconds right there. Galaxy gets demos as Beast is looking to just walk the dog all the way in, and he gets most of this yardage granted to them. Well rotated Northern Arizona University squad should be able to play this defensive pretty well until that was a weird bite from Beast. Snaps the jaws, finds nothing for it. A huge pinch off the wall. Now New Mexico State on the defense. Grand, nice block, but this is the clear. Okay, nice takeaway there for New Mexico State.
Should have a bit of time. Modulo with the good fake gets pinched out to the midfield. It might be a shot from Modulo. Grand now having to come back with the rebound, just hits it back onto that post, going for another challenge. 0 boost. Could be an open net opportunity even with that demo. No one's there. Pies a bit skeptical going for that since Chronicle was close to that play. He's off the ceiling. Oh my goodness, this guy's insane. Just going crazy. Beast might have an open net opportunity.
Yeah.
He does. What is that pressure from Northern Arizona?
Put a hat on top of it. This is a trick for E. Says that third one does come in. 62 miles an hour comes rocketing across the bow, letting New Mexico State that he is here. He is not going anywhere anytime soon. That was grand in the first one. The only goal for New Mexico State, that's got to feel like forever ago, eons ago here, Fiat, because the same like comfort that they enjoyed the last 30 seconds or so, once they're just trying to play like against the clock, and game number 1 is forever ago. Like that is a done situation. Maybe an alternate universe.
It's up on a possession of Flick. Galaxies shuts it down immediately. Now Beast on the shot. Might be in Modulo, able to get it off crossbar. Now a double tap opportunity. Chronicle coming in at the speed of sound with that double tap. Modulo gets a good touch, but Grant goes as well. Isn't able to get the dunk there. Leaves that entire right side of the net open. Instead, though, putting that top left shot, adding a bit of sauce to this 4-goal lead with almost half the time left in this game. NAU looking solid.
Now, the writing on the wall is that we're going to get a tying factor here from Northern Arizona, 4-0 or another score line. Super hard to come back from this, especially after you spent 5 minutes, now 2.5, with only 1 score across, all of them to spare, and that's the 5th right here for Northern Arizona. Galaxy looking just huge right now.
And it's just that recovery, you know, recovering.
That was, I just realized that. Like, teammate literally, like, flipped towards ball, not only missed it, but also ran into teammate.
Yeah.
Brutal.
It's
brutal.
Yeah, it's a bad way to go out. Honestly, a pretty bad goal to let in, especially at this level right now. And it's a 6-1 for NAU. NMSU crumbling after that game 1 win, unfortunately. But Beast, that's a good possession right there off the shot, and then Grand has to go jump up for it, or else it's going to be scored, or better yet, a double tap. 6 goals, NAU halfway through. It's just dominance.
Right, it's a GG's goes next. Like, the mental is destroyed right now. Chronicle with 2 of them right now. Beast with 3. Galaxy with 1. They're spreading the ball all the way around. The best news right now is that a 1-0 victory in game number 1 is going to equal a 6-0 if the game ended right now. Scoreline as well. And it's definitely possible to come back, especially after Grant has a weird save on this one. But it just seems like all momentum is gone. The wind is out of the sails.
Yeah, 6 goals, you really aren't coming back from that no matter how much time you have. It's just such a hard way to go out in this game too. But they still have this entire series, NMSU does, in their hands. If they can regain that momentum shift, you saw that in that game 1. They were playing well, they played with good trust. But again, you keep seeing some of these miscommunication errors where it's like they're double committing, or it feels like no one's going at all. Just giving space to NAU. Chronicle now trying to take some of that. Gets the dunk.
Oh, okay.
That's brutal, man. Oh my goodness.
I thought that was going to be a good defensive block. Sorry about that. Like especially coming against the ground right there. Look at Chronicle.
Oh.
Wow. And that's just that last little tip. And even if he didn't, teammate's still there as well. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. 7-0 right now. Best of 5 series going to be going down to a best of 3, barring, you know, an even more historic comeback for New Mexico State right now. The good news is that a lot of I've said it before, say it again. The good news is that a lot of the mistakes they're making are very easy to fix. As communications wise, see that right there was a perfect example of a very well communicated play coming up from the wall right there was. Well, yeah, that was Modular, excuse me. Yeah, it was coming from Modular and put it right in the red basket. Like, you can't do anything about a stout defense that gets a well-aimed block on the other side, even when you put a screamer across like that.
I don't know if you saw that one from Pied. It was nearly an angle into his own at top left. Luckily, he rolled out for him. Chronicle just keeping the pressure. Modulo, good hit to the sidewall, actually. Going to send NAU a bit further back, give NMSU a bit more breathing room. Chronicle wanted to go for that ball. Galaxies instead decided to take it. Hopefully that won't be too bad of a play to go again for NMSU. It's that communication issue, as you said. It's fixable, but it is so present a lot in their gameplay that you have to fix it fast, or else you're just going to keep getting more of these 7-0 games.
Yeah, and I mean, fixing this over the break is going to be the name of the game. Didn't want to call it early, but 6-0 is not anything but a disheartening scoreline, honestly. This doesn't get anything but worse right there. A shutout pitch for New Mexico State in game number 1, and a Grand Slam home run shutout pitched here for Northern Arizona against New Mexico State University in game number 2. Well, there's a laundry list of things that New Mexico State could do to kind of come back in this series after, I mean, yes, they mean the same overall in the grand scheme of the match of this series, of this best of 5 series. No, that does not mean anything even close to the similar. It was 7-0 versus 1-0.
Yeah, at a certain point, it just becomes a skill difference, right? Like you saw that last series, or was it or it was the series before maybe the 0-6 Michigan win, right? Where they were just able to put
Yeah,
St.
two
Clair
games ago. Yeah.
onto a pedestal and just keep up that pressure. St. Clair was still playing pretty decent though. They were just outpaced, and this it just felt like NMSU was making mistakes that they shouldn't be making at this point in the season, and it felt like NAU was just able to capitalize upon that. Even they're not playing too flashy. They're flashy. They're playing the fundamentals. They're just putting the ball in the net.
And after a certain point, once you're down by 3, pretty much, it's like, okay, like, we have enough time left, especially because it's so early, right? I think it was like 3:30 or something like that.
Yeah.
Now it's just like, okay, open up everything that we have, pour it all into offense. Need I remind you, though, folks, in case you're just tuning in or you have a short-term memory loss, that was the University of Michigan took the 6-0 win initially, and then it went back and forth the entire time. That was a full, St. Clair came right back with a 4-1 victory. Yes, the 3-score difference isn't the same as a 6-score difference, especially when it's 6-0 and you completely shut out your opponent, but it went back and forth all the way, right? Michigan came back in game 3 right there with a 2-1 overtime victory, only a score difference of 1, not a big one-sided affair, and then St. Clair Saints were still able to come back in the game 4 with a 2-score difference, not just a 1-score difference, not just a, oh hey, last second everybody's still trying to tie it up and pushing it to overtime, a 2-score difference, and then again, University of Michigan barely squeaked it out 2-1 in that game number 5. That is entirely possible for that same sort of situation to happen right now, and a 6-0 is not that much categorically different from a 7-0, which is what we're looking at right now.
But I may sound a little biased when I say this, but I still have faith in my NMSU boys, Yeah, this was a hard game to lose. The communication was really off. You did make a lot of mistakes. Let's be clear. There were a lot of mistakes. But if there's something I know about these guys, it's that they want it. They want the win, and they're going to fight till the very end, regardless of that scoreline, to get that. And that's the mentality you need in this situation. It's just that 0-7 game didn't happen. Just stop thinking about it. Go in to game 3 and go even harder than you did before. And I know that these guys can do that. They've done it before, and they're going to do it again. NAU is still looking good, though, so it's still going to be a close matchup. I'm really excited to see what the recovery from NMSU is going to be in this series.
Yeah, the big keys to victory, we'll say right before we start this game. Number 3, back to a tied series, dead even right here. No team with an advantage, even off of 7-0. For Northern Arizona, it's get that lead early again. You could literally see the panic in the actions of these New Mexico State University. Excuse me, God, it's been a long day. New Mexico State University players. You could see the panic in their actions and in their movements and in rotations and everything after about the 3-0. I'm not saying like, oh, just get a 3-0 lead and you'll take it. Pretty obvious. Even just 1, yes, but really a 2-score a lead early here, first 60, 90 seconds or something like that. I think they'll be able to coast on in there and then put themselves on match point. On the flip side, you hit the nail on the head right there. Memory of a goldfish. That's what we always used to say, right? The short-term memory loss I was just talking about. Have that. Just, we lost the second game. Scoreline does not matter. Go back to playing your Rocket League game and just mentally reset after that. We watched how the mental was just donezo after about the 4-0. Really starting at the 3-0, definitely at the 4-0, about halfway through that previous game. Put it completely out of your minds. Go forth, play the next Rocket League ahead of you.
Definitely. And I think, especially at this collegiate level, it's really awesome to see, like, even 4 years ago, teams really didn't have that type of mentality. They were really just playing the game, just figuring out what's going on. But now it feels so much more professional, so much more structured in terms of how these teams operate, that you can really see these kinds of upsets happening at any point in time during any of these series. Yep. And so you have to always be ready on your toes if you're one of these players on either team. The game, in terms of its momentum, might just shift completely. And you have to be ready for that as well, which is a new challenge for a lot of these collegiate teams.
100% agree. 100% agreed. Especially if you're looking at a lot of the score lines across here, right? Excuse me. Colorado College Tigers. That was the last time the Northern Arizona saw a sweep. New Mexico State. Week 3, they won 3-0 against a team. It says versus New Mexico State University. I'm assuming at most that's a different NMSU Rocket League team. We do not have a distinction between this one and the other one, so not 100% sure about that. But my point is that sweeps are not really in the cards for either of these teams, win or loss, right? Whenever they lose, they do not lose 3-0. We're taking the forfeit win, the forfeit loss, just mentally canceling each other out right there. That does not count as a 3-0. You didn't play the game, okay? That's kind of going back to my earlier point. point about how we just have a little bit less information here from North Dakota State University when it comes to their Champs West A Division play. As it is, though, Northern Arizona University, if we're talking at this point about what's on the line, proving to a New Mexico State University squad that you have a really good chance of seeing in the postseason, and kind of like putting that foot down after a 7-0, that's going to be so monumental. So I really don't think that either, like, and on the other side, New Mexico State University have this game to avoid going dead even, or going dead 3-3, and instead of improving to 4-2, doubling up right there, and that's going to make their playoff hopes and dreams so much better. Also, I mean, they go up to 4-2. Northern Arizona loses, they go to 4-2. You're now putting yourself on the same exact pedestal as Northern Arizona University. I'm not exactly sure the scorelines of the other squads that are involved in the Champions West Division, A Division, excuse me, but this is basically like a first game of the postseason that's allowing them to figure out who is the better seed coming into that postseason, guaranteeing, like, what I'm saying is if Northern Arizona University, if they win this, they'll be at 5-1, and that'll put them at a much higher seed and makes it much more likely for them to play New Mexico State University in the postseason. Otherwise, if you put these two teams at a very similar scoreline, a very similar record, both at 5-2, given that it'd be like, seed 2 or 3, 3 or 4, something like this, there's almost a non-zero chance that they would face each other in the first round of the playoffs.
And like when you go into the playoffs as a competitor, it's always just a bit of a different experience than the regular season. The regular season, yeah, you're focused, you're trying to get the win, but playoffs, there's so many eyes and lights on you. You feel pressured, and it's going to be much harder. It's going to be a much harder game than you have right now, regardless of who your opponent is. It's so much more difficult to perform under such immense pressure, and I think when it comes to planning for the future, right, you can't get too ahead of yourself. I think you really just need to go one day at a time, at least with esports. In traditional sports, you'll start seeing teams plan ahead against different teams, but with esports, the games are going so quickly, they're varying so much in terms of how consistent a team might be that day, that you kind of just have to go into it with the mentality of like, anything's going to happen. And so it can be difficult to really find a fine balance between planning and just playing, just focusing on you, right? You don't want to just overthink it. I know, like me personally, I overthink everything a lot in Rocket League, and it can be a struggle to get out of that headspace. But once you are out of that headspace, there's nothing like it, especially, and I'm, regardless of which teams are able to go to the playoffs, I'm super excited to see how these teams can perform under that pressure.
Absolutely. Hey, like we said earlier, pressure makes diamonds. We'll find out about this and more after a very short break. We've had to have a lobby reset here. We just want to have the most even playing field for these two squads, especially after the tying factor. 1-1 in the series. Back with you guys in just a little bit. Hello and welcome back, folks. You know, me and Fiat are just spinning such audible chocolate for you guys. We wanted to talk about the third game and not actually watch it. Haha, I'm just kidding. There was a lobby issue. Unfortunately, they played the third game. That is a game that Northern Arizona University's varsity squad won 4-2, a relatively close score line. The FBI tugboat here with Fiat.
Hi. How are you doing, Tugboat? We got this matchup is still going strong. Obviously, as you said, NAU took that game 3 that we weren't able to watch in a 4-2 fashion against NMSU, leaving them on match point for this series. Galaxy scoring one immediately as well, or not immediately, but pretty close to it. A good dunk off the corner just goes straight rolling in, and that's just a beautiful setup from NAU. Still looking strong as per usual.
Yeah, so 35 seconds into this one, a strong foot forward. I'd mentioned that the keys to victory here for Northern Arizona is to go forth and get up early. That is, I'm not sure if that's a situation they attained in Game 3. It is a situation they went forth and won. That is a situation they obtained in Game 4. Put a real solid foot forward in the rest of the series, a series that they have now put New Mexico State University on match point.
Angelo hitting to the corner, but it's going to be still trying to keep this ball on the side. A 50 going to go out. Chronicle's a bit awkward, so he opts to just move outwards. Galaxies get deep. This is going to be a shot middle. Pi is able to get that rebound. NAU coming back into that defensive rotation. It was just a bit too hard, a bit too awkward for them to really figure out where this play was going to go. And NMSU responds. 3:48 left on the clock right now. Going back to the kickoff. It's going to be Galaxies and Modulo. Modulo sending that towards NAU. A demo coming out from Grant. Going to be a bang. Should be a bit of time right now for Pies on this, but it's going to be Chronicle. Instant dunk.
A little bit back and forth early on that kickoff, honestly. Really nobody with like handed possession. Even here right now, none of these players really have possession. That shot looked even wider than it actually was. Still cross post and out. Pies just trying to maintain possession for a little while here, Fiat. Mexico State University, I mean, clean slates have been the name of the game. Neutral territories have been the theme of this matchup thus far. Cannot be surprised that a lead was very short-lived from New Mexico State. Or Northern Arizona, excuse me. That was a pretentious situation.
Very, very hard to figure out how that was gonna turn out, but it looks like Beast now should have a bit of time on that ball. Doesn't get a good contact from Modulo up in the air too early. Chronicle has a possession. Eyes. Now NMSU still having a hard time getting this ball off their side still. It feels like they aren't really matching the pace they need to get the counterattacks. 3 people jump for NMSU. This could have been bad. This still might be bad. Beautiful save though.
Whoa.
Modulo inch off his own crossbar.
Was Beast actually like counting chickens before they hatched? I mean, eventually this turned into a goal regardless, but Beast is just like sitting down bottom. I think he thought the defender was not going to be able to get to this one. This could have come a couple of seconds earlier. Obviously, it's not a mistake that's going to go forth and really, really negatively affect Northern Arizona outside of a couple of seconds off this game clock, but still, I call it out when you see it. Just minor errors that Northern Arizona is committing as well. This isn't all New Mexico State University when it comes to, you know, little misplays.
Now off the demo, Grand getting a bit more aggressive, trying to get NAU off his side, and more demos coming out. Eyes now getting in on the action. Modulo tries to put that shot on net. Maybe actually was a pass. It was a bit too slow. Grand has to come in there last second. It's a bit too awkward of a save right there. Just too far out from the play. Just give the ball right back to NAU, back to Galaxies.
I mean, Gran had to do everything in a bag of chips just to get to this one. A fantastic save right there, but Galaxy's in the perfect positioning and reads the angle well. Responds immediately, and that's a fast one, an insurance goal. The second goal, there's 2-goal lead, excuse me, for Northern Arizona University. Third? Okay, that was close.
That was a close shot coming out from NAU. They're putting on the pressure to NMSU right now, trying to find anything they can to increase their lead. They want this to be a showout. They know it can be a showout, especially after that 0-7 game holding off MSU's defense. Pinch to the midfield. Galaxy's awkward touch. Grand wave dash into possession. Pinches that off the wall into the midfield. The piece shutting it down. Galaxy's wanted a bit of a redirect there. Isn't able to get the touch. Good double tap for the center. Modulo, though, a good spot in the net. Usually you don't like someone sitting in the direct middle of the net, but sometimes you also have to. Modulo finding one of those best times to do it with a save. Might have a possession here for the counter almost, but it's going to be saved by Beast.
Yeah, Beast comes in there, Grand, just a tiny little bit of misdirect towards the middle, and that would have been a bump onto Beast and a guaranteed goal after a very well-centered shot. Not going to happen. 3-1 we continue. About 45 seconds for NMSU to get 2, and that's just a tie.
39 seconds left. I have faith in my boys to get this. Chronicle with the bang, and that's going to be a pass mid, but it's actually missed. A bit of an opening here for NMSU. 50 to the midfield. Modulo should have time on this ball, should beat him. He doesn't actually, he doesn't have any boost. That's an issue for that play. Pies gets the good dunk into the mid. Chronicle, high touch. Modulo needs to put this towards the middle. Galaxies helps him do that just a little bit. A high pinch to the corner. Grand on the possession, instantly shut down right there by Chronicle. Pies needs a goal right now. Maybe flip, reset, pinch. It's going to be too unrealistic of a shot. Grand not in an NAU. Take this series. NMSU having a hard time right now on the mainstream of these matches. 3-1 for Arizona.
Yeah, so a 1-0 game there in the very first one for New Mexico State University looks fantastic. Just to not be misunderstood, NAU comes screaming back with a 7-0 shellacking in game number 2. Game 3, unfortunately, weren't able to see, but the same score difference, a 2-score difference for the side of Northern Arizona University, ties out this series at a 3-1. That, of course, means that even with a very, very back and forth 3-0 between the West Point Black Knights, the Army the Army West Point Black Knights taking on SUNY Potsdam. Even that was a very, very close back and forth 3-0. We've been grifted a whole lot of really good Rocket League on the day here for NECC Fiat.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't get any better matches than that, to be quite honest. 3-2 thrillers, and then at the end, NAU just showing, hey, look what we got over here. And it's just a lot of good matchups, you know. The players played phenomenal, and it felt like every game you never exactly knew what was going to happen. Every team had a chance to beat. That's the beauty of Rocket League, right? Rocket League, you are fully in control of everything on the field, whether you like that or not. And just having that full range of control over the play, it just makes it so much more unique than other esports, where it might be a bit more regiment when what you can do as a player. Like, you know, FIFA, you can only like do some certain button inputs. Rocket League, you have everything. You can do anything.
You really can. That really is the beauty of this flying car soccer game that we have all come to know and to love. Speaking of love, hate to see it, hate to say it, but that is going to be the end of our broadcast here on the day. Had an absolute blast of it. There you go. My least favorite part of any broadcast, of course, is the end. I want to give a huge shout out to our production staff and our observer staff here on the day. That is Reach Chat and that is TTL, or Time to Light. Without them, we are just screaming about esports in our rooms. So really appreciate that. Fiat, I've had a fantastic time. Congratulations to all the victors here on the day, and a good luck. Have fun on your next matches. To all the teams who were not able to find a win on the broadcast on the day. Fiat, do you have anything else for the good people before we do bid them adieu?
It's been awesome being on the stream these past few weeks. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait for some more exciting matchups next week. We got some great matchups in all of our games. We got Valorant, we got Rocket League, and it's so fun to do this. This is just so fun. Thank you guys so much for having us on this stream. We will see you next week. Have a great evening. Stay safe.